Alright, I think we're live. Let's see. What's everyone saying? Yo, we're live! What's up? I'm good, thanks. How are you? What's up, Dominic? Damn, lots of people joining. I didn't actually know if anyone was going to join. Can you hear me fine? I think I need to mute my headphones. Can you hear me fine? Yeah? Alright, perfect, calm. Yeah, so I just made a video. I haven't published it yet, but I wanted to show you something cool. If we come over to the active addresses, zoom out a bit. So yeah, I just made a video on this, but I wanted to show you. You can see here the Bitcoin active addresses are skyrocketing today. They're up 35%. And what does this mean? What does this mean for the markets? Well, first of all, let me define active addresses. You can see on the Glassnode definition here, it says the number of unique Bitcoin addresses that were active in the network, either as a sender or a receiver. So, you know, historically, at least theoretically, the more active addresses there are, then you can imagine people are sending their Bitcoin from like their ledger, their hardware wallet. They're sending Bitcoin to exchanges. So normally when you've got more active addresses, it typically means that people are selling. And let me show you this correlation to how we've previously had these tops in the markets. If I can find, I think this is the chart we're running off. Let me come over to the weekly. I'll check the comments out in a second. I can't read the comments while checking this out. But yeah, let me show you what happens with the Bitcoin active addresses. You can see we've got 3 macro peaks since December 2017. You can see the first peak is coming in December 2017 right here. Second peak on the active addresses coming into the end of April and the beginning of May. We've got another peak. And once again, we've got another peak 1 year later coming into May. So why is this important that we have these 3 peaks on the Bitcoin active addresses? Well, like I said, the more active addresses, the more people are probably sending their Bitcoin and crypto to exchanges. I mean, just look at this spike on the daily. I mean, it's kind of hard to see with all this momentum going up and down. But we're up 35% today. I mean, this is a lot harder than we've ever run up. And if we go back historically, let's do it one by one. You can see the first peak, December 2017, when the active addresses had a run up. Where were we in the Bitcoin USD chart? Well, we literally topped out as the active addresses were topping out. We literally had an 84% run to the downside after the first active address peak. They kind of came down after then because obviously, you know, with Bitcoin crashing down to sub 3,000, 4,000, and even when it's down here at 10,000, there's going to be less people selling than the previous all-time high. So the first peak we've got on active addresses, that was literally the top of the bull run in 2017. The second peak in the Bitcoin active addresses is basically where we topped out about a year ago. You can see this was coming into the end of April, coming into May. We had a huge peak on the Bitcoin active addresses. And if we look at what happened last year, you know, coming into the end of April and the beginning of May, like you can see, we really started landsliding beginning of May. Once again, look at the Bitcoin active addresses. This peaked beginning of May. And we look at the chart, you can see coming into April and May, that was the top. We came all the way down, 55% drop. So far, at least running off these 2 data points, if we extrapolate it, you can see we might have a little bit more to run up on the active addresses. But historically, it's not been a great indicator when you do have these run-ups in the active addresses. People normally are liquidating their bags at that moment in time. You can see the Bitcoin shorts also skyrocketing today, up 8%. I talk about this in some of my videos, but I really wouldn't be worried about the shorts unless we break over the top of this box. Historically, There's been a few times where we just come crashing into this, and it doesn't mean anything as long as you don't take it out. But you can see, as soon as you poke your head above these, huge run up in shorts, huge runs up. Normally they just go up in a straight line. I mean, you can look at this. This was a huge top for Bitcoin. So yeah, the active addresses, very interesting. We've also got new addresses coming in as well, which is really like a 50-50 signal as well, because you can see this was December 2017, and we just covered that on the Bitcoin chart, that when you did top out end of 2017, that was the bear market. That was basically when the bear market started. But very interestingly, the last time the new addresses spiked like they did here, let's extrapolate a trend line, you can see December 2020, this was all the way down here. We were coming in for like 16,000, 7,000, and we had a huge rally. So the new addresses are very 50-50. Like it can have an effect either way. But yeah, oh sorry, no, the new addresses going up is, I mean, it's, you can't say it's bullish or bearish either way, because it's called both the bear market and the start of the bull market. So very interesting stuff. I mean, I imagine a lot of people are pricing in that the bottom might be near. So this is why we're seeing a spike in new addresses. I personally don't see Bitcoin crashing too much further from where we are right now. At least on this chart, I see super strong support down here at 33,000. And historically, if we just look at the data on Bitcoin, we don't, like you can see, you know, you have these macro lows, and every time you have another macro low, it doesn't matter how far apart it is, you never come back to the lows. And you know, I'm not talking about, you know, the lows as in, you know, what's going on in this week's time frame. I'm not talking about, you know, you come over to the daily time frame and you can see we wiped out this channel. I'm talking about these big macro moves that we have. Like the last macro bottom, in my opinion, was down here at 32 or 33,000. So I would imagine strong support at 33 is probably going to happen. We talked about this in my last Bitcoin video about an 11% drop, only 8% from where we are right now. Stock market as well. Stock market's tanking. I talked about this morning as well, but as soon as the stock market opened, we actually broke down. We came back up to fill the gap, and then we headed back down. We've also got a ton of gaps on the Nasdaq, which lead me to believe that we might not be getting out of this kind of choppy situation for quite some period of time. I made like a whole video going through the Nasdaq, looking at every time you have a gap, and literally every single time you have a gap, at some point you come and fill those gaps. And I think the only gaps that we don't have filled right now are these two. You can see this wick almost filled this gap, but we didn't fill the gap. So we've got two gaps on the Nasdaq. Why is that important? Well, if tech stocks are going to rally another 16-17%, you know, I'm not saying that, for example, tech stocks are going to break bullish and then, you know, we're going to go off into a new bull market and we're all going to be happy dandy. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, you know, you look at these charts and you can see big moves to the downside, big moves to the upside, big moves to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point soon we did have a huge bounce coming in for the stock market specifically. What's everyone saying? Oh god, there's hella comments. 21 viewers. Apparently my stream's doing a little bit laggy. I need to get a new PC. Do you think there's a possibility that we're heading into a longer term bear market because of the quantitative tightening? Well, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Historically, looking at the stock market, looking at the Bitcoin market, every time the Fed starts increasing interest rates, it's normally not a good sign. I think we don't have it. No, I won't pull up the chart, but yeah, I mean, the Fed raising the interest rates, I mean, they only raised it by 50 basis points. I don't necessarily think 50 basis points is enough of an increase to fight inflation, so in my opinion, they're going to have to keep on increasing the interest rate month over month. Powell's already talking about increasing it by another 50 basis points next month, so I do imagine this is going to be like a concurrent theme over the next couple of months. Let's see what else we got here. Got some of the Discord mods in the server. Shout out to you guys. Cowboy Vision. No, I disagree with that. Vision is a goat. Vision and Ben Cohen. I don't say this a lot in my videos, but Vision Pulse Trades and Ben Cohen are probably, I can't think of any other crypto YouTubers off the top of my head that I have a high level of respect for. I think both Vision and Ben Cohen are some of the greatest crypto YouTubers. Like me, I try and aspire to not be like a clickbaity, shitty YouTuber like everyone else. Like I don't want to say any names, but you know what I mean. YouTubers that have their mouth open in the thumbnails and rocket symbols and every video is an emergency. I mean, that's not my kind of theme on this channel here. Once again, shout out to the mods. Seems like there's a few mods here. Do you think the new address is an indicator of broader adoption? Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, like I said previously, when we had this big run up in active addresses, was it, yeah, December 2020? That was a sign of adoption. So new addresses is kind of like a two-edged sword. I wouldn't necessarily take the data to the bank on that one. I really think the active addresses, though, you can take to the bank as far as you can take things to the bank in the crypto markets. But yeah, new addresses is either a sign that people are offloading their cryptos into new wallets, such as on exchanges to sell. Like, for example, I mean, if you've got a hardware wallet, you might want to make a Coinbase or a Crypto.com or a Binance account so you can sell your Bitcoin. That's an example of when you could be having a new address to offload. And you know, on the flip side as well, new addresses can mean that you've just got adoption, and new addresses can mean that people are trying to get in the markets as well. I don't know how many new people would be looking to get in the markets. I feel like the hype for Bitcoin is dying down at this moment in time, and a lot of the retail traders have left. And that doesn't mean that I'm not bullish over the long term. I am bullish over the long term, but we just do need to recognize, you know, you look at these cycles, everyone, all the retail traders, they jump in as the price goes up, and when the price goes down, everyone just leaves the market and they never return. So yeah, it's a two-edged sword with the new addresses. But I think pairing this with the active address increase, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably say it's a mix of both. I could imagine a lot of people are buying the dip for the first time. But yeah, normally, like I said, retail traders normally jump in as the price goes up. So I don't know, unless we've got an influx of smart money picking up. But then if we've got smart money picking up, it wouldn't make sense why we've got this much momentum to the downside, in my opinion. Where's my volume gone? I've just noticed that. But yeah, I mean, like, you can look here, you can see there's a huge influx of bearish volume stepping in the market right now. So I wouldn't say it is smart money, new addresses, a bunch of whales coming into the market. I'd say it's probably 50-50 new addresses looking to sell, some people looking to re-DCA back into the market. Don't you see it crashing to 30,000? I mean, it definitely could. I mean, my personal price target for this drop is down here at 33. Like I said at the start of this stream, I mean, if you look at the data on Bitcoin, Bitcoin doesn't really come back to its macro lows, and I don't want to, you know, put this on a log scale and go back all the way down to here, but, you know, for example, you can see there's a macro low down here, macro low, macro low. It's a bit harder to see on the log scale, but you can see we never come back to these macro lows. When are these spaced apart? Because it's been about a year since we had our last macro low set, so just over a year to the next macro low, just over a year, so about a year and a half to 2 years between these. Next one was just over a year again, and then this was less than a year. So I mean, you could argue this peak could get invalidated, and then we would draw from a new macro low in a year's time. A year's time from, or just over a year's time, because these have been like 400 days, 500 days, 400 days. This was coming on for 500 days. I've overextended this a bit. We're actually drawing to this. Oh no, it is this one down here. So yeah, 480 days, 500 days, 460. I'd say we could definitely have some more chop action over the next couple of months or so. 550 days would put Bitcoin coming in to the end of October. Coming in for Q4 is when I expect we could maybe be macro bullish again. The problem is the Federal Reserve increasing the interest rates. I mean, if they truly are like trying to bring back the economy, shrink their balance sheet, fight inflation, they can't fight inflation with a 0.5 interest rate hike. Like it's not gonna happen. Like the 0.5 interest rate hike, yeah, it's a huge increase. It's the biggest increase in the interest rate since we've seen in the year 2000. But is it enough to fight inflation? I don't think so. I mean, you see a new article every couple of months. Biden prints another 15 billion for this. Biden prints another 1 trillion. Biden wants to print another 1 trillion. I mean, the 0.5 increase in the interest rate is not going to be enough to fight inflation, in my opinion. So if this does happen, and it is a recurring theme month over month where they increase the interest rates, I could imagine that we could chop into this 30,000, 33,000 specifically, but maybe 30,000. Like I said, I mean, if we're coming down to 33, we could come down to 30, but I would imagine the high would be at least somewhat significantly higher than 29,000. So I'd hedge my bets between 30,000 to 33. So yeah, I do think that can happen. And a theory to support that as well is if we look at the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves, you can see I talk about these every now and then, but when you come down to the low deviation, you can see we've got 3 deviation bands on the log growth curves. You've got high deviation, which in mathematical terms is 1 deviation overbought. The low deviation down here is 1 deviation oversold, and then right in the middle here, the average deviation is just the average price. And historically we always bottom in 1 deviation oversold. We always come down to these bands. Like since this started, you can see bear market bottom, bottom of the log growth bands, bear market bottom, bottom of the log growth bands, mini bear market bottom, bottom of the log growth bands. Coming into the next, I mean, this was still the same bear market, like this range that I'm talking about here. It was really the same bear market, but let's just call it like a mini bear market for the sake of making this easy. And you can see, once again, we actually came slightly below your lowest deviation, but once again, within 1.5 to 2 months, we were out and we found our bottom at the low deviation. So looking at what we're doing right now, the low deviation is at 32,400. I would imagine we'd chop into 33,000 for the next couple months. And if we look at what we did before, you can see it took us the good part of November 2019 coming in, or sorry, no, November 2011 rather. And we really didn't start getting out of here until December 2012. So this was a 13-month accumulation phase on the bottom of the log growth bands. From where we were here, the 3rd of February 2019, we weren't even out until October of 2020. So this was coming on for what's that? From January to October, I suck at this, but I don't know, what's that, like a year and 6 months, a year and 8 months? Historically, we always, if we do come down to this low deviation, there has never been a period in time where we haven't not taken a year to get out of here. And I'm talking about at least a year. Like I said here, this was 13 months. This was what, like 18 months, 19 months or something? Or sorry, no, this was a year. This one was a year, pretty much a year. And then this one coming on for a good part of a year and a half. So I don't see any reason why we would diverge from this trend. And what's interesting about this as well, because we talked about this backing up our previous theory, the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves, if we do find a bottom around this region and we do take the good part of a year to accumulate to the side, well, like I said, these Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves are exponentially increasing, so the low deviation, 1 deviation oversold, will be exponentially increasing. Previously, I mean, the log growth curves were coming down here at like 3,400, and by the time we were getting out of here, the log growth curves were at $10,000. So Unfortunately, the information doesn't taper much past August 2022. So we won't unfortunately be able to see where this will take us, but I could imagine, you know, if this is approximately half the period of time and that would increase to 39,000, I could expect Bitcoin to chop around between the regions of 30,000 and 45,000 for the next year. And the important thing about that theory is that it's also backed up with the 4-year growth cycle theory, where you can see there's 4 years between these cycles, and I believe I saw 1 week ago that there's 2 years until the next Bitcoin halving. So in theory, let's say we chop and we go sideways on the bottom of these log growth curves. We bottom out at 45,000 in a year's time or so, or let's say a year and a half time. That would mean that it would be 6 months time until the next Bitcoin halving. And, you know, I don't need to pull up the data points of the halving to tell you guys that every single time we have a halving, the Bitcoin price explodes. So I personally was a fan of extended cycle theory. I do think at some period in time, the 4-year cycle is not going to work out. I think it's a little bit too much hopium to think that the markets are going to be easy on you, and you buy every 4 years, then you sell 4 years later, then you buy, then you sell, then you buy, then you sell. I think markets are very, what's the word? They're not going to be easy on you, is what I'm trying to say. So I think at some point, 4-year cycle is going to be broken. Macro mega cycle, something like that could happen, but it does look like, at least in this period of time, that we are coming down to these lower deviation ranges. Do you think there's a possibility that we're heading down? I already answered that. FTM buying price. I think the last time we checked this out, it was hella bearish, so I think the trend is your friend until the end on this one, really. Is this the best defined by the daily? So yeah, I mean, I don't like to call bottoms and predict. I simply like to look at the markets and recognize what defines an uptrend and a downtrend. You can see uptrend perfectly defined by your daily EMA ribbons. We switch into a downtrend. Downtrend perfectly defined by your EMAs. We flip them. Bullish trend defined by your EMAs. And we've been in a bearish trend since then. So the trend is your friend. You can see daily EMA ribbons bearish. And my thing with buying breakouts is a lot of people think they can time the exact bottom of a dip. For example, I mean, when FTM was up here at $3.40, I'm sure a lot of people saw this come down to $1.70 and they were like, okay, I'm buying the bottom, I'm going to buy this dip. And then people saw it come down to $1.30 and said, I'm going to buy this dip. People saw it come down to $1, said, I'm going to buy this dip. People the other day bought at 66 cents, I imagine. I mean, we saw a huge influx of volume every time we come down to these levels because people think that they can time the market with these dips. And I think it would just make a lot more sense to just realize that the trend is defined by the daily EMA ribbons and simply just wait for a flip. I feel like it's as simple as that, really. So, I mean, hypothetically, the market's turned bullish, your breakout would be like $1.10. I'd much rather wait for a breakout, have a confirmed breakout, rather than, you know, buying, assuming I know where the bottom is, and then having to sit on the sidelines for like a year and get grey hairs. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on FTM, but nothing's changed since my last video. Even on the 4-hourly time frame, like I always say, trend is your friend until the end. Keep crashing against these EMA ribbons. There's not much point in doing anything until we flip them, at least in my opinion. I mean, even if you were to buy the 4-hourly EMA breakout, a confirmed breakout, something like this, you would buy after you take out the previous invalidation point. So 84 cent, we're at 72 cent right now. You wouldn't be missing much. And how many people can say, you know, they bought within, you know, a 10%, 14% vicinity of the absolute bottom? Not a lot of people. So yeah, I'd say the trend is your friend. Wait until that's done. Vision is my guy too. Yeah, Vision's a legend. He showed love to my channel when my channel had like 1,000 subs. So yeah, gotta respect it, man. Gotta respect it. You do well, my man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, he sucks. He only makes downside targets, never update. I don't know who you're talking about, Ken. Mouth open in the thumbnails. Yeah, I mean, you guys know. You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to call anyone out or say any names, but everyone knows that squad of YouTubers that just has their mouth open in all the videos and says every video is an emergency. This is the most important indicator of all time. This is my most important video of all time. Most important breakout of all time. Bitcoin has 24 hours. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I find that jarring. Did you get the MicroStrategy news? No, I didn't. What's the MicroStrategy news? Was Michael Saylor being Giga Chad and DCAing again? I like the fact the hype is dying down, been in the market since early 2017, survived the May crash. I mean, yeah, I like these lower price targets as well. I'm in Bitcoin for the long term, and you know, while I do these altcoin videos, I always say that these altcoins are really a way for me to, you know, flip my money into Bitcoin and make more Bitcoin. I never really want to be holding on to altcoins for a multi-year long period of time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. Like, you guys who watch my channel, if you watch my Solana videos, you know I'm a huge Solana bull, but even for Solana, would I want to hold it for the next 5 years? Absolutely not. And why? Well, 5 years ago, ETH was the best blockchain. Now, I mean, I don't want to say Solana is the best blockchain because I don't think it is. I think, and when I say ETH is the best blockchain, I simply mean the best blockchain to build on top of. Obviously, Bitcoin is the best blockchain, but you can't build on top of Bitcoin yet because we don't have smart contracts. But that should be coming at some point in time. So yeah, I like these cheaper price targets too. Interesting take on the macro levels. My thoughts exactly on interest rates. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to keep on increasing interest rates if they want to fight inflation. They're not gonna be able to fight increase rates with 0.5% increases. I really think Web3 is gonna reverse starting when our weekly closes. ICP has a lot of potential. Morningstar and weekly. Do you mean ICP as in Internet Computer Protocol? I don't know, man. I would have to somewhat disagree with that fact that ICP has big potential. I think you just zoom out and this is one of the ugliest. No, I take that back. This is the ugliest crypto chart I've ever seen in my life. I mean, look at this. A huge wick down from 630 down to 31. And what I always like to do on these bearish charts is I like to flip the perspective because, you know, a lot of people look at the charts and because of their emotional attachment to the investment or because they want to believe in the project, they don't look at the charts from a fundamental perspective. And let's flip the ICP chart. Let's say this is an ICP. This is a new crypto called PCI. What does PCI look like it's doing? I mean, PCI is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. It's clearly in an uptrend, isn't it? You can see your previous all-time high was right here at $14.70. We've broken above it, so we're in price discovery. We back tested it, so we've confirmed it as support now, and now we're going off to the races. So ICP is in price discovery to the upside, but it's in price discovery in the upside on the inverse chart. And also one thing I've noticed with ICP is a lot of people always say, oh, this is the most important crypto of all time. And then I ask them, what does ICP do? And they're like, oh, it's the internet of all things, or it's the internet of money. And I'm like, can you explain that? And they're like, so I haven't met a single person in my life who's been able to actually tell me what the fundamentals of ICP are. Yeah, respectfully disagree. I think ICP is the ugliest crypto I've ever looked at in my life. Let's just put it this way. From a fundamental perspective, probably not the worst crypto. But yeah, I'm not a fan of ICP, I'm not gonna lie. Howdy, what's up, man? The only problem the only problem though is Bitcoin whole existence has been in a 13-year global financial bull market. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is difficult because, you know, you go back to the last financial recession and Bitcoin was not around during that recession. So we don't have any data traded when we're in a big recession. And yeah, we have data traded in stock market crashes. Like, you come over to the SPY and you can see a lot of the times that the SPY has these big moves to the downside. Or more correlated to that, you could even argue the dollar. Like, we're highly correlated to the dollar, and you know, the dollar is showing extreme strength right now. So we're definitely in uncharted territory. This is definitely not like any of the other cycles we've previously seen. Boring, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's only boring if you don't want to accumulate at cheaper price levels. I'm the kind of guy where I find it exciting to have big explosions to the upside, and I find it exciting to have big explosions to the downside. Because I'm in Bitcoin for the long term. I mean, I hope Bitcoin goes to 28,000. Sure, I'd love Bitcoin to go to 1,000,000, but 1,000,000 can wait. I want to go back to 28,000 and buy first. So yeah, that's exciting to me at least. We here. What's up, Jeff? Can't hang, but saw you live. No worries, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Biden. Yeah, Sleepy Joe's messing up the economy right now. Sad times. Boring. This year is awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree. Time to load up. Yeah, definitely a good time to accumulate. Agreed. What do you think of FitFi right now? I think FitFi is still looking bullish. I'm still in my trade for FitFi. Where is FitFi? I'm probably going to end the stream in like 20 minutes or half an hour, by the way. I haven't had dinner yet and I'm pretty hungry. Oh, okay. Okay, it seems like I'm not in my trade for FitFi anymore. Oh no. Am I? So, let's come over to the 1 hourly time frame. It looks like we've come right down to my stop loss if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm still in my trade, but we're coming down. I announced this in the Discord yesterday and I said this on my last FitFi video. But I was including a stop loss in my trade because, you know, after the markets went really sour on the Fed news, after the stock market started crashing, after Bitcoin started crashing, I talked about my stop loss on ICP. Not ICP. Why am I thinking about ICP? I was talking about my stop loss on FitFi because at the time where I included a stop loss, we got in down here. We got in on this trade at 50 cent. And I think when I started talking about incorporating a stop loss, we were like 46% up. And I was like, okay, you know, we're up. I've made a decent amount of money on a 46% increase on my FitFi holdings. And I want to make sure that, you know, even if this trade turns sour, that I'm going to be walking away with lobsters and champagne for dinner. So I made sure that I was walking away with a 10% profit. And that's what I talked about in my last FitFi video, moving down to 55 cent. I did not expect it to move down like this, I'm not going to lie. We had a pretty nasty drop, tons of bearish volume coming in. Let's see what's going on the higher time frames. 4 hourly time frame, still technically somewhat macro bullish because, you know, we looked at this on the 4 hour and at least so far the uptrend is completely supported by the 4 hour. So, I mean, technically speaking, you could come down to 49 cent if we did what we did before. Actually, wait, no, because your long-term moving average would have been the support. It just wouldn't have loaded in at that point. So, yeah, I think 49 to 50 cent needs to be the bottom. Otherwise, a huge capitulation event could happen. I feel like this was a buy the rumor, sell the news with the staking. Everyone was talking about the staking. Honestly, every single announcement this year has been a buy the rumor, sell the news. Think about it. The Origins... you know, Axie Infinity, SLP, their Origins update, the second it came out, I mean, obviously they had the Ronin hack, so that probably wouldn't have helped, but the second the Origins update came out, it just completely tanked. What happened on Ape after the land sell? Well, it literally marked the exact top on Ape. It was another buy the rumor, sell the news. As soon as that happened, Ape topped out. I could probably think of a few other announcements, but I think the best way to make announcements is just to have them come out of the blue, because then people don't price in the news. The problem is when people announce the news before it comes out, people buy into the hype, and then when it comes out, you know, everyone's already priced it in, so the price goes down. For example, you take Algo. What happened with Algo the other day? They had a FIFA partnership. I think this was right here. And because no one was privy to the information on the FIFA partnership, they just completely rallied on that day and they got nice continuation. Obviously, I don't blame Algorand for coming down because the whole market came down on this day. So, I mean, it makes sense that Algo wiped out the gains. But, yeah, the same with FitFi as well. It seems like, you know, you announce the news a week ahead. You can see we rally into the news. The day the news, or the day that you're actually able to stake for sneakers, boom, it comes down. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of people were waiting for this and sold. What else are we saying? Hey, what's going on, guys? Hello. Shall we get a FitFi update really quick? Yes, we just did that. Talking about vision. Careful with ICP, the endless rug. I agree. I'm not a fan of ICP. Yes, internet computer, and that's what's bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin. If that's true, that's interesting. Yeah, I saw your last video. MicroStrategy's new CFO said that if Bitcoin reaches 24,000, it will trigger a margin call for the company. Wow. ICP is bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin, and I can tell you everything about them, and have lower gas fees and faster than Sol. ICP looks to decentralize the internet. That's what makes them huge. Well, I mean, maybe they've got good fundamentals, but their chart is dog water. So I'd at least be looking for a reversal. You know, I always say this in my videos, I don't have to be a fan of a project to trade it. Let's take XRP, for example. I'm not a fan of XRP, not only from a charting perspective, but from a fundamental perspective. And I used to be the biggest fan of XRP. It was actually my only crypto holding. Actually, I think I held Chainlink back then as well. This was like 2017 when I first got into crypto, and all I cared about was XRP. I loved XRP. I didn't care that it was centralized. I didn't care about any of that. And then, you know, I started getting more into Bitcoin. I actually read the XRP white paper, and I found out that all of their nodes, every single Ripple Labs node, like people say, okay, Ripple's not decentralized, or XRP rather, Ripple is the parent company, but everyone says XRP is not centralized because they've got somewhat of a plethora of different nodes, but they don't know that all the nodes run off the exact same Ripple Labs node. So it's 100% centralized. If you read the white paper, they can make some pretty messed up decisions. They can revoke your wallets, they can expire your tokens, they can cancel a sell or a send order. So for example, you know, the main selling point of XRP is cross-border remittance payments, making them cheaper. So for example, if you live in somewhere like India, or let's say you live in the UK and you want to send money to your family in India, the remittance payment or the fees on that payment internationally would be massively expensive. So XRP looks to, you know, for example, you sell your GBP for XRP, and then you then have that XRP turn into the Indian rupee, so you miss out on all those fees. But when central bank digital currencies come out, or when banks have their own stable coins, there is absolutely no use case for XRP. Why would a bank, think about it this way, if you're a bank, why would you not use your own stablecoin to fix that issue, a government issued stablecoin that you have 100% control over? Why would you use XRP, which is 100% centralized? And you read the white paper, it says they can revoke and expire any wallet you want. So let's say you're a bank, let's say you've got $10 billion worth of XRP in your wallet. Technically, according to the white paper, if Brad Garlinghouse doesn't like your bank, all of your funds can expire. And then, you know, like I said, coming out with central bank digital currencies and stablecoins, there is zero use case left in XRP. And, you know, you're getting sued by the SEC for being a security. There's a plethora of reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of XRP. But like I say, getting back to the point with ICP, I always have this saying, don't love it, don't hate it, don't love it, don't hate it, trade it. And that means that I'm looking at XRP objectively. I may not like it from a fundamental perspective, but I recognize that it does have a huge following. And at some point, I'm not an idiot, I know that this is going to skyrocket, probably after the SEC case. And the beauty of that is, you know, all of the people who are DCAing XRP at these extremely overpriced levels, you know, they're under the water right now as we're coming down to these lows. But I don't hold XRP. I'm going to wait for the trend reversal, and I'll be buying the trend reversal. I imagine, you know, I don't imagine this would be anytime soon, but if XRP has the SEC case wrapped up in their favor, I'd probably buy the day that happens, because, you know, I may not like XRP, but I like making money. And it's the same for ICP. I mean, I look at the ICP chart, and sure, ICP can do well. Like, I'm not saying that it's just going to get endlessly rugged forever, but I do look at the trend, and I do recognize that, you know, you can see this trend line very well defines the downtrend. And every single time you try and hop above the daily EMAs, you hop above, come back for the back test, you fail. Hop above, come back for the back test, fail. Hop above, come back for the back test, fail. Hop above, come back for the back test, fail. So I'd much rather just have a short trade, something like this, buy after it's got a confirmed breakout at this region, after it takes out the local top. So yeah, like I said, I don't love it, I don't hate it, but at some point might be a good trade. But looking at this objectively, like I said, I don't hold ICP. I don't really have any strong opinions on ICP, so my judgment on not buying this is purely based on the technicals. And looking at this on a technical perspective, you invert the chart, remove some of the emotions, pretend this is a different crypto. This looks like the most bullish crypto I've ever seen. It's been in a bull run forever. So yeah, at some point, sure, if they put smart contracts on Bitcoin, if they break out of the downtrend, then sure, I'll definitely look to invest it. Like I said, you know, I'm not against making money on cryptos that I don't like. I do it all the time. I don't really care about any of these move to earns. They're literally just a way for me to make more Bitcoin. Let's see. I learn so much every time I watch you. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad you watch me. Waiting for more videos on algo technical analysis. Weird stuff is happening. I can't make sense of it anymore. Yeah, I mean, algo looks like it's holding up pretty well, to be fair. I want to check out what's going on with Bitcoin to make sure it's not having a bounce before we check out algo, because Bitcoin is still heading down from what I can tell. On the hourly, it's kind of chopping to the side, but it seems like algo is heading up. And like I said, it's the same thing for algo as well. I used to be a huge algo bull. In fact, algo was pretty much almost, I don't want to say all of my portfolio. About 2 years ago, I had a ton of algo and I was staking it on the ledger, and it's so nice having it staked on the ledger. I don't know if you've ever staked algo on the ledger. It's been like a year or two since I have had it staked, so I can't remember how often you get rewards, but I'm pretty sure you get them like once a day. Maybe it's multiple times a day, but yeah, I do like Algorand. I think it's a great project. I also believe the Algorand network supports the Bitcoin Lightning network. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Algorand. I really do like the chart setup on this, and I like the fundamentals, but like I said, for all my cryptos, I don't think it's a wise idea to DCA altcoins. I think it's much better to look at the market trends. And once again, I mean, it's very simple. I mean, you can learn how to use these moving averages and extrapolate it over to any chart. Like we said for ICP, you know, you're in a bear trend that's clearly defined by the daily EMAs. It's the exact same for algo. So I'm definitely looking to get some algo. That's why I started covering it recently, because of the news. I'm very bullish on algo, but being bullish on algo also, in my opinion, depends on what Bitcoin does. I really don't see a world where algo is going to be a market outlier and algo is going to go on a bull run and Bitcoin's going to go back down to 33,000 and have a mass capitulation event. So yeah, is what it is on that one. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting to buy some algo at some point in time. Algo just introduced governance for staking. I remember them talking about that like a year ago. Didn't they say that once governance comes out, they're going to reduce the staking rewards? Did they actually go through with that? Like I said, the last time I checked out algo and algo staking, it was a good part of a year or two ago. So I really haven't kept up too much with what is going on Algorand. But yeah, definitely very interesting. Does anyone else want to see any different chart setups? I'm really live streaming because I woke up this morning with a massive migraine. I've still got a headache. I've got like hypertension in my eyes. I just feel a bit under the weather right now, so I don't really feel like making, you know, like 8 hours worth of content after my Bitcoin videos. But yeah, much rather do a live stream. Oops. And you know, if we enter a bear market, then we can just start live streams and we can just play chess or something. That would be funny. Does anyone here play chess? I feel like if we enter a bear market, I'm just gonna do live streams. We're gonna look at the charts and be like, okay, we're going down again. Let's invite the chat to have a game of chess. JASMY, One Earth. I don't think I've ever checked out One Earth before. Hope you feel better. Thank you, my friend. JASMY. Let's see what's going on with JASMY. What is the ticker symbol for One Earth? And I'll check it out because I've had a ton of requests for One Earth and I've never ever checked it out. I don't know the first thing about it, so bear in mind my analysis and my opinions would be based on a purely technical perspective. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what One Earth is. I never heard of it before I made a YouTube and people started asking me to cover it. So daily time frame, JASMY's breaking down pretty hard. Tons of bearish momentum on the daily squeeze momentum indicator. 4 hourly bears have really started to step in, and I imagine that's because we had previous lows down here. We broke down, back tested them, and now we're heading, or at least in the short term, it looks like we got a short-term rejection on this. On the 1 hourly time frame, looks like we're really trying to fight with this one. Yeah, like I said, with a lot of these altcoins, definitely JASMY included, the markets are undoubtedly turning somewhat sour right now. So I really wouldn't be looking for a majority of trades in altcoins, especially JASMY. JASMY is in a pretty huge downtrend. If I remove the indicators, because I'm pretty sure I saw someone talk about this in the Discord. It's in like a huge triangle pattern, something like this. They posted that like a day, or they posted that yesterday, and we've broken below the floor on this triangle. So yeah, I don't really like the setup for JASMY right now, I'm not gonna lie. Where are we in terms of our fibs? You've invalidated the 786. This trend is best defined on the daily. I think it's been too short-lived to define it on the weekly. And even then, you know, you can see we're putting in daily closes now. So I would say, at least in the short term, JASMY's not looking good. I don't even know why I drew from high to low, because we're making new lows. So there's really no point in checking that out. Like I say in all my altcoin videos, the trend is your friend until the end. We're clearly in a huge downtrend for JASMY. I mean, we had a dead cat bounce here, but you zoom out even more, you can see it's really been rocketing. I'm sure you all know this. Dead cat bounce, lower high, rolled down off the table. I think what I said this in my last JASMY video, what I'm going to be looking for my next JASMY trade is to finally break above your daily EMA ribbons. I mean, we might end up doing some short-term trades on the 4 hourly. And like I said, the last time we did a trade on the 4 hourly, we saw a momentum shift down here, all the way down here. We put in a higher low, we got a bullish divergence on the RSI. That is my fib, not my price target. And we entered the trade. No, we didn't enter here. We entered on this orange line. This was where I entered. And we went all the way up to 57%. And I was looking out for higher price targets. The market reversed. I let you know that I was putting my stop loss down here and a 7% profit. And we came right down and wiped out my trade. So even on the 4 hourly, yeah, I'd still be waiting for some type of bullish flip in the lower time frames. And like I said, I really wouldn't be looking to trade too many altcoins coming into this Bitcoin capitulation. Yeah, I mean, no matter which way you chop it, whether you're talking about that descending triangle that JASMY's in, whether we're looking at the volume, the momentum indicators, it all kind of looks pretty bearish. You can see lower time frames, we've tried, or at least very lower time frames, we've tried to find a bottom at 1638. I don't think there's any confluence down here. I think it's just a random bounce. To me at least, it looks like we've come down a slight bit, and then depending on where you want to consider the breakdown from, I'd probably say the lows down here would be your breakdown at 1.7. We could just be breaking down, back testing them before we do roll down. But like I said, I wouldn't be making a trade on JASMY. I wouldn't be shorting, I wouldn't be longing. At some point in time, JASMY is going to be one of the best long positions out of any of the altcoins that I check out. Right now, not the case. So yeah, JASMY still looks pretty bearish to me. I think that pretty much covers everything. We look to the daily. Does not look good. I saw someone mention a head and shoulders on JASMY, but I don't see it anywhere. Obviously we had the head and shoulders up here, which, I mean, technically isn't valid if you're drawing from the wick. It's only valid if you draw from the candle body close. But yeah, I don't see any head and shoulder patterns, unless this is what they were talking about. God, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm kind of joking with this one, but yeah, you can kind of see something like this. I wouldn't, you know, like I said, I'm really joking with this one. I don't think anything like that is even remotely valid. What's everyone saying? 1Earth. What's the ticker symbol for 1Earth? Is it just 1Earth? Is this it on Femex? Is this all the data that's been traded, or do I have to go over to Dex Screener or something? One Earth. Daily time frame. How much data have we got traded? Yeah, I'm not a fan of this chart. No, I don't. If this is the One Earth chart, is this the One Earth chart? Yes, I think Dex Screener has a longer time frame. Yeah. TRX Tron. Yeah, we'll check out Tron in just a second. Is this the right chart then? One Earth. Like I said, I mean, I haven't. It looks like it. It seems like since it got added on Femex, it's in a huge move to the downside. If this is One Earth, then yeah, I mean, it looks pretty abysmal to me. Let's see what's going on. I would imagine at this point in time that you would have already invalidated the uptrend. I mean, I'm pretty good at eyeballing these Fibonacci's, considering this is like this is my job. So yeah, like I said, we've invalidated the 786. I might just see like how many times I can guess exactly where we are in terms of the fibs before drawing a fib. I feel like that'd be very interesting to see what my hit ratio on that is. Like I said, I've drawn so many fibs in my life that I can see the data points before I even draw them. But yeah, I mean, One Earth, like I said, my analysis or my thoughts on this, if this is One Earth, is purely based on the technicals, because I have no idea what One Earth is. I have no idea what it does. So, you know, it might have the best fundamentals out of any crypto in the world, but at least from a charting perspective, it looks very bearish to me. And like I said, I mean, you're coming down to the lows. There's no point in really overcomplicating the analysis. I feel like what I said with most of these videos, the trend is your friend till the end. In this case, the 4-hourly downtrend seems to pretty well define. So I'd be waiting for a breakout on One Earth. I think One Earth is one of the cryptos that I would definitely not look to DCA at this moment in time. And when I say DCA, I mean I only really DCA Bitcoin. So I mean, I DCA'd Ape the other day. I guess I did, but you know, we were doing it as a swing trade. We sold it at $23.70. So I did just pick up my bags at $13.70. You're still in FitFi. Am I in FitFi? Oh yeah, we forgot. Am I in FitFi? I don't know. I could have been stopped out. I had it on 55 on the dot, like literally exactly 55. So where is 55? 55 is... It looks like we came right down to my stop loss. So yeah, I'll have to check it out to see if I did get liquidated, but I very well may have been liquidated. I mean, that would be fine. Like I said, either way, we walked away with a 10% profit. So I'll talk about that later on the Discord. I don't want to, you know, load up my wallets and dox myself. So Tron, let's check out Tron quickly. Tron. Looks like Tron's doing an algo. Yeah, Tron looks very nice. Daily time frame or 4-hourly. Let's start with it. Let's go down lower. 1-hourly time frame, we seem very bullish. 4-hourly time frame. Yeah, like I say with your confirmed retests of the EMA ribbons, you know, even though technically we have confirmed this because we came down and made a higher high and then back tested it, I would kind of want to see the invalidation point taken out for Tron. And like I said, I would not be picking up any altcoins at this moment in time. A lot of these altcoins may go into like a rally stage, but I think it's very risky to be picking up altcoins when Bitcoin is doing this type of move to the downside. So yeah, from a technical perspective, Tron looks pretty good. If you do have a daily close above your 200-day moving average at 7.6 cent, I could definitely see a huge run up. We've got a huge influx of volume today. Is there any news on Tron? What's going on with Tron? Because there's a huge Tron news. Or should we just type in Tron and go to the news tab? Tron crypto. Okay, so their stablecoin went live, but that's been announced for quite some period of time now. Is it rallying on the stablecoin news? This was 24 hours ago. What was Tron doing 24 hours ago? It was coming down 24 hours ago. So yeah, I don't know why we're seeing this influx in volume. Chat, what's going on with Tron? 1 million market cap platform launching this month. Decent tokenomics. Seems like a good play at these levels. What is that? The 1 million market cap? Is that One Earth? I forgot what we were talking about back then. Definitely not bullish right now, but seems making a higher low. And is that for One Earth making a higher low? Well, I mean, I wouldn't, I definitely wouldn't jump to that conclusion until we start turning up, because as you can see, we're heading down quite strongly right now. On the hourly time frame, I mean, even in your hourly time frame, we're still heading down. So I would not bank on this having a higher low until the higher low happens. We're coming down, so I'd be definitely very cautious on this one. Like I said, I don't know what this is from a technical perspective, or from a fundamental perspective rather. I'm really running this on the technicals. I play chess, yeah, man. When it's or lady, whichever one, but whenever it's bear market territory, if we do go into a bear market, then you know I'm gonna have to do some live streams, and as the price will be so boring, then we'll have to definitely have a game of chess. I hope you don't know that that 4 or 5 move checkmate, because I love doing that on my friends who don't know how to play chess. I heard JASMY has over 60% of its tokens distributed so far. Market cap is just not updated. Yeah, it is. If we come over to Etherscan, you can see where is it? Coin market cap. I'm pretty sure it's on Coin market cap. Coin market cap says JASMY only has 10% of the supply out, and that is capped because I'm pretty sure Binance holds more than 10% alone. If we come over to Coin market cap, you can see apparently only 5 billion is circulating, 10% of the supply. But then obviously, because JASMY is an ERC20 token, you can look at all the tokenomics and the distribution of the holdings on Etherscan. This is a great website if you want a full in-depth view of my opinion on the JASMY token holding supply. Then go on my channel and type in JASMY token supply. I've done an extensive video where I went through literally all of this. But look, if you look at Binance's wallet, they hold 9 billion JASMY. That's 18% of the supply. Binance alone holds like, you know, almost twice the circulating supply that's here. JASMY developer, I imagine what Coin market cap is doing is they don't count these wallets to be quote-unquote active addresses. That's the only reason I can think that they wouldn't incorporate them into the supply. Maybe they've got a deal with Binance where they only give these away in giveaways, because I know Binance do a lot of giveaways on JASMY, so maybe they don't interpret that as an active supply. But then even then, I believe the JASMY developers are what these 1% wallets are. The last time we checked, JASMY has 22 of these 1% wallets. Right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So very interesting. We've gone down 2 places. And you can also see some of these wallets are now moving down to 0.8. So maybe some of the JASMY developers are selling, which if they are selling, well, I mean, obviously they must be selling. Unless they've increased in wallet size. But I don't think so, because these are KuCoin, Metex, Bittrex. There's only one wallet above the 1% that is around that 1% vicinity that isn't held by an entity like this. And I'm not including the 3%, because obviously that is a slightly higher wallet. But all of these 1%, it does seem like they're diminishing over time. I do not know what Coin market cap is playing at, but yeah. I would not be surprised if the market cap is also incorrect, because if they consider the market cap to be 80 million, with this amount of the circulating supply out, then you know we might be getting duped here. I don't know. I really do feel like JASMY needs to talk about, or at least fix, its token distribution. I did a video on this. If we pull up the pie chart, the top 25 wallets, so bear in mind, these are 25 individual entities, collectively hold 52% of the supply. That is messed up. The top 10 wallets own 37% of the supply. What about the top 5? 5 people own almost a third of the JASMY supply. So yeah, this is when people ask me, you know, what's your long-term prediction for JASMY? I like to run off these short-term moves because, like I always say, a lot of these altcoins, they're going to come and go, in my opinion, and I do feel like JASMY might be one of those. But yeah, JASMY's supply is definitely wrong. Any thoughts on the AVAX ecosystem? Yeah, I love the Avalanche ecosystem. I don't talk about it that much, but there's a ton of stuff going on with AVAX right now. I think FitFi is built on top of AVAX. I do like AVAX. It's not my favorite new blockchain that's come out in the past year or so. My favorite blockchain is Solana, and you know, I have to be slightly critical on Solana as well because they do have somewhat issues with I don't want to say network outages, because whenever Solana has a quote-unquote network outage, you see all these ETH maxis coming out saying, haha, Solana's having a network outage. And you go over to Solana Explorer and you see that, quote-unquote, when Solana has these network outages, Solana's still doing like 2,000 transactions per second when ETH is doing like 16 or something. So a lot of people always FUD Solana and say it has network outages. If your idea of a network outage is like 1,000, 2,000 transactions per second, then I don't know, man. Maybe you should, maybe everyone should go check out ETH. I've only used the ETH blockchain a few times. I remember I once claimed VeChain, which was the crypto project down here. I think we recently covered it. It looks terrible. VPad, yeah, not VeChain, VPad. Did I say VeChain? I meant VPad. Yeah, but I claimed an IDO allocation over on VLaunch. I claimed it down here. Ended up selling it at like the $1 mark. I remember talking about this. I got hella salty. I sold around $1, $1.50, and it went up to like $2.50, and I was like, oh man. And I stopped checking the charts, and now it's down at like $19 cents. So yeah, but getting to the point, the IDO was on VLaunch. It was a... Yeah, I had to claim it through like a MetaMask wallet on the Ethereum blockchain. And I don't know if I've told this story before, but I had to pay... Obviously, you have to pay a gas fee. I had to pay a gas fee to have the wallet with the rewards in it. That cost me $40 US. Then I had to send the VPad to... where did I send it to? To Femex. I think Femex was the only... leverage trading platform / somewhat exchange that did have the ability to sell VPad. I remember I sold VPad for like $1.20, $1.50, and I sold it for Solana. And when I had to send my transaction, so I had to spend $40 to claim the VPad, then I had to spend $40 to send the transaction, and the transaction failed, and I had to spend $55 just to be able to send the transaction again. So I had to spend like $150 just to send a transaction. And then you use the Solana blockchain, and I'm not even joking, you put $1 in a Solana wallet, and you can literally sit there all day. And when I say all day, I mean you could sit there all year, just send. You can send Solana transactions to yourself all day for like a year straight, and you'll probably still have a ton of money out of that $1. Like, Solana fees are so cheap. But yeah, I don't like using the ETH blockchain. I think Dex Screener has a longer time frame. Oh yeah, I think I already read that. Do you think that what the project is doing matters at all, though? What is that specifically for? I mean, for some projects, yes. I don't know. Wait, you were talking about... What were we talking about? Oh, One Earth. I mean, it does and it doesn't. It depends on what you're going for, because if you're going for like a blockchain, say for example, like if you're investing in a blockchain that people build things on top of, let's say Solana, AVAX, Ethereum, you want it to have good fundamentals. But if you're investing in Dogelon Mars, which I'm invested in, I mean, I hate to break it to you guys if you don't already know this, but there is no fundamentals on these on the majority of these dog coins. And you know, a lot of people will say, "Oh, what about Shiba Swap?" I mean, if Shiba Swap does not justify the market cap that SHIB has. So if you're talking about meme coins, these move to earn coins, these quickly hyped up coins, then in the short term, no, the fundamentals do not matter whatsoever. I guarantee 95% of the people who watch my channel have no idea what the fundamentals on JASMY are. They just see that it moves very euphoric. So for a short-term trade, no, fundamentals do not matter barely at all. I mean, fundamental news can affect the price, but long-term, yes, fundamentals are very important. Short-term, no. Hi, JASMY, I really benefit a lot from your channel. I appreciate that. You are one of the best analysis, obviously. I'm definitely not the best. I'm definitely not the best, but thank you. Do you mind to give a short brief about Dogecoin? I want to buy it. Which price range would be good? I wouldn't recommend any price level to buy Dogecoin. If we look, you can see you've only recently broken down from this asymmetrical triangle. You come over to the higher time frames. What's going on in the higher time frames? We've only just had, or a month ago or so, we only just had a huge rejection from the weekly EMA ribbons. Come over to the daily. Bearish momentum is stepping in as we do break down from this asymmetrical triangle. We did just put in a new low, but we found a bounce on the 786 fib at 1234. Technically speaking, if we hold 1234 or 1235, then yeah, I mean, maybe we'll have a bounce, but like I've been saying for my altcoins, I do not recommend whatsoever to be touching any of these altcoins while Bitcoin is doing a madness to the downside. You've got the stock market crashing. Is the dollar... Oh, the dollar is pushing up again. This is what I mean. The dollar looks great, the stock market looks terrible, and Bitcoin looks terrible. So at this moment in time, I would not recommend any price to buy a Dogecoin. Dogecoin could drop to, you know, the lows down here at like 8 to 9 cent, and I still would not recommend to buy. As of all my altcoins, I really recommend to look at the trend, recognize moments in the markets, or recognize trends, recognize what defines the trend, and then stick with that. Wait until the trend is broken, because the trend is your friend until the end. You can see, I mean, I'm only going to pull it back from here, but we were bearish on the EMA ribbons. You tried to flip them. Once again, like I always say, the back test and the push up, it doesn't mean anything. You need to break above this invalidation point, and you didn't break above it. So this was a failed retest. You rolled down. Once again, trend is defined by these bearish moves. We broke below it, came up to try and back test it, didn't take out the high, and once again, trend is clearly defined by these daily EMA ribbons right now. You zoom into what happened recently when we were coiling up in this asymmetrical triangle. We broke up, came down, back tested, didn't break above this invalidation point. So Dogecoin is still bearish, obviously. At some point, yeah, it will be a great buy, but right now I would not be touching altcoins. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to have a flush to 33,000, then a lot of people are going to get wrecked. And in my opinion, the dog coins are probably going to be the first cryptos to get wrecked, unfortunately. It just is what it is. A lot of retail traders in these dog coins, and there's nothing wrong with that, but retail traders normally panic a lot. And if you're holding something like Bitcoin and Solana, sure, people are going to panic, but people aren't going to panic as much as if you're holding a shitcoin. So a lot of these shitcoins, a lot of these move to earns look like they're coming down. Apart from FitFi, FitFi just doesn't really seem to care what the market is doing. What's up, Mark? How you doing? I'm scared to look, but is ApeCoin to the moon yet? Probably not. I recently DCA'd in this because we sold at 23.20. We sold at 23.70, and we re-DCA'd back in at 13.70. So we're kind of just chopping to the side. I think the problem with ApeCoin is you could be setting up for a bottom on the technicals, but looking at what's going on in the general markets, I would not be looking to trade Ape or any other cryptos until Bitcoin has a solid reversal. I feel like exiting or entering Ape right now at this moment in time could be very deadly. I'd definitely be looking for lower price targets. If you're already in Ape, like I said, when we were in Ape and we sold at $23, we said it's a win-win situation because the price comes down to your DCA. We got to DCA for 42% cheaper. The price goes up, we get to sell more at higher price targets, so it's a win-win situation. So if you're already in Ape and you did take profit at this region and you haven't DCA'd or you have DCA'd at this level, I feel like probably just sitting on the sidelines for a little bit longer would make sense. Did we break the Elliott wave theory? Let's see. How did we have this before? So I think we started from here. You've got your 3 wave, 5 wave, and then it looks like you're entering, depending on how you draw it. I mean, we're right down at the 1 wave. So it doesn't really matter how you want to draw it. It doesn't matter if you want to draw your A correction down to here, or if you want to draw it something like this. The point of the matter is, for Elliott wave theory to remain intact, you would need to stay above your 1 wave, and we're pushing down to the 1 wave right now. I pointed that out in my video for ApeCoin yesterday when we looked at the Elliott wave theory, and so far, I mean it's playing out to the teeth, but like I said, a move below these levels could mean that the theory is invalidated and we would be moving to lower price targets. I'm not even the biggest fan of Elliott wave theory, by the way. Like, I do just like to look at multiple perspectives. I feel like if you get too used to one perspective and you look at the charts the same way every day, then you will miss out on key opportunities that you wouldn't previously see, which is why you can see I've got one chart for Bitcoin where we've got, you know, this channel, and then I've got another chart for Bitcoin where we've got this channel, this falling wedge, you've got this this trend line going up. I think we had, I think I've deleted it now, but we had, where is it? We had a broadening megaphone pattern, and I can't seem to figure out where it is. I think we've invalidated it, but yeah, I don't know where that went. But it does seem that all of your patterns have invalidated anyway. So yeah, like I said, for ApeCoin, the Elliott wave theory is cool and all. I wouldn't take it to the bank. I wouldn't expect that just because Elliott wave theory says the bottom is in. Like, you know, like I said, Elliott wave theory is definitely valid, but Elliott wave theory can't predict a hike, an interest rate increase. It can't predict the dollar rallying, and it can't predict the stock market crashing while Bitcoin dumps. So yeah, I'd definitely be sitting on the sidelines. For most of my videos, I know it's kind of boring, but I've been saying this, I've been sitting on the sidelines for pretty much everything. Apart from some of these trades, like FitFi we've been in, we were in KNC, we were in GMT, and pretty much all my trades have recently been stopped out, just in a profit or break even. Actually, I don't think I've had a trade stop out in break even. The lowest return on a trade that we've done so far was the JASMY trade. But yeah, coming back to Ape, I personally would not be banking on a reversal while we're waiting for Bitcoin to reverse. And the beauty of this is, like we were talking about with the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves, we're clearly near the bottom for the market cycle. Like, you know, I'm saying be cautious, because if Bitcoin goes down to 33,000 and lollygags for like a year straight, then these altcoins could get decimated, but at some point that bottom is going to come in. We're very, very near the bottom, so I'd be looking at things like ApeCoin to DCA into or to pick up once we do reach these absolute lows. Until then, I'd really be sitting on the sidelines, because think about it this way: if Bitcoin is about to have a macro bottom, and in the next year or so, or in the next 3 months, if you're really bullish, you think we're about to enter a huge bull run, it doesn't really matter if you DCA into Ape at 1370 like I did, or if we have a confirmed trend reversal today or tomorrow, if you buy the breakout at $16. I mean, if you think Ape is going to, you know, $32, which I do as well, if you think it's going to your 3.618 at 41, if you think it's going to 47, then I would wait for a confirmed trend breakout. You wouldn't be missing out on too much. And this is what we did when we broke bearish initially on Ape. We went down and we were pretty much at the bottom here, and we flipped bullish once we flipped these EMA ribbons. So From the absolute bottom, yeah, we missed out on a 30%. We missed out on a 30% rally, but after we did enter the trade, I didn't take profit up here, so I can't say, you know, we went up this much and we made this much profit, because I didn't take profit up here. I wasn't personally targeting this region. I was targeting 23 and 32, so never took profit here. I did take profit at 23.70, so we pulled like 70% there. Like I said, the trend was confirmed here. You missed out on the first part of the pump, but like I said, once the trend is confirmed, you're clearly going to have a nice rally on ApeCoin. That moment is not upon us. So yeah, ApeCoin, Cadena, GMT, for all of them, I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines. My theory would be the same on that. Have you gone through GAL? No, I haven't. I haven't gone through GAL. I haven't checked it out. FitFi check out. We just checked out FitFi a minute ago, but FitFi came down to my stop loss and then it pretty much reversed. So like I said, I'm not going to load up my wallet on my computer while I'm here. I don't want to dox myself, but I might have been liquidated at the exact bottom, which would be quite funny. But like I said, I'm really using these move to earns to accumulate more Bitcoin. And also, like I said, you know, I'm a big fan of champagne, baklava, and lobsters. So that's where some of my profit's going to be going. Maybe 50% in baklava, some good champagne, some good lobster for dinner over the next couple of days, and then yeah, put the rest back into Bitcoin. But I mean, even looking at FitFi, we haven't even made it up to the hourly EMAs. And we just got rejected from the 2.618. So if we are breaking down from this hourly trend, then I would expect that we'd be coming down to 50 cent, at which point we do need to hold 50 cent. If you break below 50 cent, then we could have a big drop to the downside. And I really don't think there's much point in drawing a fib on a move to earn and saying from a technical perspective 43 cent would be on the table. From a technical perspective, yeah, it would work, but these cryptos, these move to earns, they purely move off hype. They go through these hype cycles, and then as soon as they run out of a little bit of steam, which is what we're seeing on GMT right now, you just see that they completely landslide. We were previously talking about GMT, trend being your friend, 4 hourly EMA ribbons. Every time you backtest them, you go off to the races. And quite recently, you know, you backtested them, rolled down the hill. So yeah, I would be sitting on the sidelines for GMT as well, and most of the move to earns. Lotex, I haven't checked out that one before. Got a JASMY long at this level with 5x leverage. What would you do? I don't give financial advice. Yeah, the last thing I want to do is give you financial advice, because from my perspective, I never would have entered a long on JASMY at all. Until we would have confirmed the trend. So I never would have done that, so I can't speak for you and say if I did do that then I would do this, because you know, I personally wouldn't have done that. It seems like JASMY's getting rejected from your previous invalidation point. Coming over to the 1 hourly time frame, 1 hourly EMA ribbons are converging very harshly, 4 hourly EMA ribbons converging very harshly. Daily EMA ribbons have been bearish since 14 cents. So yeah, at some point this is going to be a great long. Like, you can clearly see that the momentum is so strong on these daily EMAs for JASMY. All I'd really be looking for is something like this, breaking above 2.5 cent, and then I'd be very certain the trend is about to reverse for JASMY. But until that happens, I would not touch JASMY. That is what I'd do. Like I said, I would have never personally longed this. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to give you advice on that one, my friend. Or waves. Yeah, let's check out what's going on with waves. Waves had a huge pump the other day. Let's see. So waves is pretty much break even today. Coming over to the daily time frame, I've talked about this in a lot of my videos. I really don't like the macro setup. I'll talk about the micro in a second, but you've got all-time high, you've got a breakdown, accumulation range. This is a textbook accumulation range. textbook markup, new all-time high. Everything up to this point was absolutely beautiful in waves. And then they got accused of being a Ponzi scheme. Their USDN, I think it's USD Neutrino stablecoin, lost its peg to $1, went to like 69 cents, got completely taken out. You know, we took out the all-time high, that was bearish. You took out the all-time high in terms of candle body close, that's bearish. You took out your double 618. You got a 618 from low to high here. You got a 618 from previous all-time high to low. This was a beautiful double 618, and you can see as soon as we broke through it, huge capitulation event. 786 fib down here at $20. Got rejected from that, broke down. Looking at this on the daily time frame, we recently got a rejection on the daily EMA ribbons. Like I said, for all of these altcoins, I would not be touching them while Bitcoin is being so choppy right now. I'd be waiting for a confirmed breakout on Bitcoin. I'd be waiting for the stock market to reverse. The thing is with these altcoins is, you know, I'm sure a lot of people don't care about the stock market, and a lot of people are probably, you know, thinking in their head now, you know, why is this guy pulling up a chart of the stock market when I asked for waves analysis? But the matter of the fact is, the dollar is bullish, so it's going to have negative connotations on the stock market. The stock market is breaking below these important levels. You can see the NASDAQ, tech stocks are breaking down. Facebook, you got blue chip stocks like Facebook breaking down, Google breaking down, Tesla breaking down from important support, Coinbase down 10% in price discovery to the downside. Gold is up 0.3%. Congratulations to the gold bulls, man. Congratulations. What a day for the gold bulls. I'm sure Peter Schiff is going to be popping the champagne today. Mad lad. I've got a tiny bit of gold myself. I should celebrate the 0.3% increase. The amount of gold I hold is very, very minute. I hold physical gold, mainly in jewelry, some gold bars, but yeah, not a big allocation of my portfolio. I do feel like every investor, if you've got more than like, I think I started buying gold when I had more than 20,000, 20,000 Great British pounds, so that must be like $25,000. So I mean, once I started hitting that threshold a while ago, I did pick up some gold, and I have been increasing it ever since. But yeah, it's been a very, very long time since I first bought gold, and it's been a very long time since I last bought gold, to be fair. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, the dollar's showing extreme strength. That is causing the stock market to show extreme weaknesses. We're literally breaking down, like I said, stock market. A lot of these stocks are breaking down to new lows today, which is very, very worrying. So how does that correlate to waves? Well, dollar's strong means weak stock market. Weak stock market means weak Bitcoin. This is why we're seeing Bitcoin get flushed out. I mean, it's not even funny how closely they're correlated. A lot of people don't realize this, but you know, we were looking at this on the 1 hourly time frame, and as soon as Bitcoin started landsliding, as soon as Bitcoin started landsliding was when the stock market opened. Stock market had a dump, Bitcoin followed. And because Bitcoin is dumping, this is going to mean the altcoin market's dumping. Because the altcoin market's dumping, this means waves is going to be dumping. I just realized this on the daily time frame. Huge amount of selling volume. I would not touch waves at all. Selling volume looks terrible, chart setup looks terrible. We've literally invalidated everything. And I'm not even being harsh on waves by saying we've invalidated everything. I'm being dead serious. 200 day invalidated, 200 EMA invalidated, previous all-time high invalidated, 4 hourly EMAs, daily EMAs, hourly EMAs. Everything's invalidated. 786 invalidated. The only thing that you can argue that we haven't invalidated yet is this high. And this is like really degenerative to consider this like a huge level that we'd hold. Waves looks pretty bearish to me, so yeah, just got rejected from the 4 hourly EMAs, tried to flip it, got rejected, so not looking good. What else is going on? Let's go. What's up, banter boy? FitFi is ripping. Do you think FitFi can pull a GMT? Yeah, definitely. What's interesting about FitFi is already stealing like tons of the hype from Green Metaverse token. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's over here, by the way, 618_cowboy. I'm not gonna lie, I just shitpost memes. Like, if you're looking for like chart setups and anything interesting, you're probably not going to find it here. I just post pictures of like apes, my NFTs, pictures of me eating baklava. Once again, apes, memes, one chart setup, meme. Once again, NFTs, news, memes. Yeah. So yeah, for some reason, if that interests you, then that's my Twitter. But yeah, what were we talking about? Okay, we were talking about how GMT could do or how Steppen could do a JASMY. No, how... I'm losing it here. Well, could FitFi do a GMT? So looking at the social metrics, Steppen's gone up since we last checked this, 400,000. And their Twitter was founded in September, but if you come over to Step App, it was founded in March, literally like a month or so ago. 2 months ago, one to 2 months ago. And look at this, they've almost got half of the hype of Green Metaverse token. This is why I say these move to earns, they are a bubble. They're going to come and go. You know, these are very, very new. I don't expect any of these move to earns to be around for a prolonged period of time. I think they're all Ponzi schemes. I mean, if you think about it, let's just make it make sense. If you were to make FitFi from scratch, let's say you made your own move to earn platform, how are you going to pay people for just walking? Well, it's very simple. You have a token. The token has value because of the market cap. The market cap has value because people put money in the market cap. So the only value, or I wouldn't want to say value, the only reason why people are able to get rewards from Step App is because new investors are coming in and putting more money in the market cap, and then these move to earns redistribute that market cap to its hodlers in the form of inflation in their tokens. So they inflate the FitFi, they inflate Green Metaverse token, GMT, I think it's GST, that's actually what's paid out in Steppen. But, you know, basically all these things are Ponzi schemes, and that does not mean that you shouldn't invest in them. But I mean, I invested in Step App, I invested in Steppen. Most of these move to earns are Ponzi schemes. I hate to break it to you, if you thought these were built on absolutely solid fundamentals, just make it make sense. If you were to make a move to earn token, how are you going to pay people for moving? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I know that if I started a move to earn in my Discord and people, the only thing they had to do was walk to get money, then, you know, obviously that money has to come from somewhere, and it's coming from people buying into the project and putting up the market cap value. So they're all Ponzi schemes. They all rely on someone else coming in behind you. But in the short term, yeah, FitFi, I do definitely think it can do a GMT. Like I said, these are all going to be bubbles. No, I almost guarantee it. No one's going to be talking about Step App in the next year. If we are still talking about move to earns, we're going to be looking at new move to earns. Just look at my channel. Look at the first time I started making Green Metaverse token videos. They got thousands of views. Now when I post a GMT video, they get like 200 views. But I post a FitFi video and they get, you know, 3,000, 4,000 views. The most amount of views I've ever got on a video was from FitFi. And I can almost guarantee you within 3 months' time, there's going to be a new move to earn. It's going to have a better tokenomic system. It's going to have better NFTs. And people are going to move on. I mean, people are already talking about, you know, FitFi. Is it going to be the new GMT? You know, I imagine in 3 months' time, people are going to be saying, is this new move to earn going to be the next FitFi? And I definitely think so. KDA. Let's check out KDA. So, bearish momentum definitely in the market. Daily. We most recently had a fake out and then broke down from this triangle pattern. And I say this in a lot of my videos, but a failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction. What does that mean? You're consolidating in a pattern, you break up one way, and you have a failed move. You don't get continuation. That means a fast move in the opposite direction. In my opinion, I do think that Cadena could definitely go lower, and even if it doesn't go lower and it has a reversal, I've been bearish on KDA in the short term since all the way back here. We flipped bearish on KDA when we were at $6.43. And the beauty of this is, all we're doing is looking at the 4-hourly EMA ribbons. Like I said, with all my videos, look at what defines the trend. In this case, the 4-hourly time frames best defines the trend. You can see every time we come into the 4-hourly, rejection, 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 lower lows, lower highs. So until we flip the 4-hourly EMAs, there's no reason to get bullish. And like I said, the beauty of this is, if we do break out tomorrow, if I'm wrong, if we do just completely reverse and go bullish, even though we've got all these bearish technicals, you can buy the breakout at $4. And we flipped bearish at $6.45. So, you know, hypothetically, we reverse at this moment in time, we're getting in for a 37% discount. And here's where it gets even better. You assume that we're bearish because the trend is your friend until the end. Let's say, hypothetically, we break down for another 2 weeks. We break down, chop, let's say we find our bottom here. We break out at a lower price target. Let's say we break out, you buy the breakout at $3.50 instead of buying the breakout at, you know, $4.30. So the trend is your friend until the end. Until we do flip above these EMA ribbons, assume that we are going to have lower price targets. I never recommend DCAing into altcoins. I mean, you can consider me slightly hypocritical because I did technically DCA into ApeCoin literally yesterday, or was it today? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I did DCA back into ApeCoin, but yeah, I mean, like I said, we sold at $23.70. I considered this more of a swing trade rather than a DCA. Even though I'm dollar cost averaging back in my position, I consider this a swing trade in order to accumulate more ape. And sure, you can consider DCAing into Cadena just a swing trade to collect more Cadena, but you know, like I said, for the majority of these altcoins, if not all of them, I'd definitely be sitting on the sidelines for Cadena. Daily bearish momentum has just started to increase as well. If we look at the daily squeeze mom, we're heading down very, very harshly. Ton of volume coming in, coming back down to back test. The candle body close at 350. A lot of bearish signals coming on right now. And like I said, best case scenario, we break out. You just buy the breakout. I mean, you wouldn't be missing out on an awful lot. You'd be buying at a 15% increase. If you're a long-term bull on Cadena, this is what I always say to people. If you're a long-term bull on an altcoin project, then surely you'd want to get the best price. So buying a breakout trade not only means that you can buy at literally the start of an uptrend, but you miss out on all the bearish price action. Let's take it into consideration the last time we did this. So, like I said, if I was recording videos on Cadena back here, I would say the trend is your friend until the end. We're clearly bearish until we flip it and break above the invalidation point, then we're bearish. What did we do? We broke, we back test, and we broke above. So you would have bought the invalidation point at 54 cents. Where was the bottom? 35 cents. You would have missed out on the first 52% of the move, but after that, you know, like I said, you're not missing out on a heck of a lot because you buy these breakout trades and you're buying the start of a trend. It is not often that you have a short-lived trend, so especially on these daily time frames. So the next time something like this could happen, I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting ready to pick up some KDA. Until that happens, trend is your friend till the end, sitting on the sidelines on this one. What about Ape? We just covered Ape a couple of minutes ago. I think I've covered it like 3 times now. If you scroll back like 5 minutes, you should see it. Thank you. I like how you work with charts and how you explain your point of view. I appreciate that, my friend. Massive knowledge gains watching your live and videos. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You got in for the first live. Got 300 views, 30 concurrent viewers. I don't know if this means that 30 people are watching now. JW agreeing with Edgar's legends. Do you think that Bitcoin and crypto in general would eventually decouple from the stock market as it gains more wide adoption? Yes and no. It really depends because when you read the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi intended for Bitcoin to be a payments method, a peer-to-peer digital cash where you would be exchanging, you know, you'd be exchanging it like a normal currency, like the Great British Pound or the US dollar. So, I mean, from Satoshi's standpoint and the white paper, they want it to be a currency. I don't think at this moment in time it can function as a currency, because the definition of a currency is that if you do want to be able to send a payment to someone, then there should be no bleed out. And what bleed out means is if I was to send $1 to your bank account, you should receive exactly $1. You shouldn't receive 99.99 cents. And the point is, with Bitcoin, if you send $1 worth of Bitcoin, you're not going to receive $1 worth of Bitcoin. So I don't think it would be cash unless the Bitcoin Lightning Network would become the main method of the financial markets. I see Bitcoin as more of a risk-on asset, the same way I look at the stock market. And what do I mean by that? I mean, people invest in these stocks because they believe they have, or their companies have intrinsic value. And I don't like using the term digital gold for Bitcoin, because I believe you're really understating what Bitcoin is if you call Bitcoin digital gold. Bitcoin is not only digital gold 2.0, it is the apex of human property, in my opinion. It's the apex of digital gold. It is a synthetic electronic currency. It's a decentralized global payments network. It's permissionless. It's just, everything about it is so much greater than just a peer-to-peer digital cash, and it's so much bigger than just gold 2.0. So I do think people are going to continue to consider it gold 2.0, and they're going to continue to consider it a risk on asset the same way that they consider the stock markets to be a risk on asset. So I do believe that Bitcoin will always at least somewhat follow the stock market, because it makes sense. If you're an investor and we're about to enter a recession, if everything's about to become more expensive, your bills are going up, you're gonna sell your stocks because it cost you more money to buy the same goods and services as it previously did. So when people sell risk on assets like stocks, I mean, some people consider gold to be a risk on asset. I don't really. Let's just talk about stocks. In the guise of that, people sell risk on assets whenever we enter a recession. So why would people not sell Bitcoin if we're about to enter a recession? That's what I think. So I do always think Bitcoin will be following the stock market. However, I do think it will heavily decouple at certain moments in time. So what do I mean by that? I think that Bitcoin will be moving somewhat independently in the future from the SPY and the stock market. However, if you do have these major events, like for example the other day we had the Fed increasing the interest rates, I think when we have these major events that affect the global economic markets, then if people are going to sell their stocks, then they're probably going to sell Bitcoin as well. So yeah, I think it will remain somewhat tied, but yeah. So please, if Bitcoin bearish, is Bitcoin bearish? Well, it depends what you mean. Bitcoin is, at least to me, Bitcoin has been in a bull run since, was it 2008 Satoshi brought out the white paper, 2009 the first Bitcoin transaction was made. So in my opinion, Bitcoin has been in a bull run since 2009, a macro bull run at that. If you're talking about is Bitcoin bearish in the short term, then yeah, it's definitely bearish in the short term. In my opinion, I do think 33,000 is on the table. I really don't like saying that. I'm a huge Bitcoin bull, but I'm just looking at these charts objectively. And, you know, like I said in yesterday's video, we broke down from this descending wedge, we broke down from this ascending channel, and we've been in this channel since the 5th of January. This is a huge channel. We've been in this for 120 days, and we've only had a breakdown yesterday. So we're in the breakdown stage today. So I find it really hard to believe that Bitcoin is about to put in another higher low. Could be a possibility. In my opinion, Bitcoin is bearish in the short term though. But does that mean I'm not DCAing Bitcoin? No, that does not mean I'm not DCAing Bitcoin. I actually DCA'd some Bitcoin today. And I've been DCAing Bitcoin yesterday. I'm going to DCA tomorrow probably. I know I say I don't DCA altcoins, and yeah, I don't DCA altcoins. And the reason for that is because I don't think these altcoins are going to be around in the next 10 years. We made a video on this yesterday. I don't know if you all watched it, but it was Bitcoin microdosing the top 25 altcoins of 2018 compared to the top 25 altcoins today. I believe there's only 8 altcoins out of those 25 that are still in the top 25, and I imagine it's going to be the same next bull cycle. I imagine if we're looking into the 2023-2024 top, whenever the next bull market top is, when we're looking at the next top 25, unfortunately I don't think ApeCoin is going to be in there. I do believe I don't believe any of these altcoins are really going to be in the top 25. Now, could I imagine some of them are, like Solana and Dogecoin? Yeah, I could, but I do think they're going to lose their place. So, for example, Solana's number 8 at this moment in time. I imagine, at least my hypothesis would be that Solana would be like rank number 20 at that moment in time, and then I would imagine it'd probably fall out the next market cycle. But yeah, I'm a huge Solana bull, but I'm looking at the data objectively, and that's one thing that I love to do. I don't like to bring my emotions into my trading. I literally trade like a robot. I look at the chart. If the chart tells me it's bearish, then I'm bearish. I don't get bullish if the chart is bearish. But long term, to answer, short term, Bitcoin's bearish. Long term, Bitcoin's been in a bull market for, since 2009 now. So would I be betting against Bitcoin? No. Would I be shorting Bitcoin? No. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Bitcoin is extremely bullish in the long term. My money is where my mouth is. I always DCA Bitcoin. Yes, it does, but hey, keep doing the lives, bro. They're great. Appreciate it, my friend. Your voice is really good to listen to. Your voice is really calm, and I really want to listen, even if I don't understand what you're saying. Oh, fair enough. Thank you, I guess. Damn, non-stop analysis. That's what we're here for. Have you covered Solana, my bro? Now we'll check that out in a second. Oh, you did watch the video, Jack. Nice. Have you covered Solana? So let's check out Solana. Let me see the other comments before we jump into this. Do you see a recession and market crash soon or later in 5 years? In my opinion, it's either going to happen now or never. The inflation is so high. I don't want to talk about the global events going on, like the war and politics, because I find that YouTube channels who talk about that just seem to disappear, so I'm not going to mention that. But we've got a lot of uncertainty going on with the global financial system, with the world right now. The inflation is through the roof. The US dollar inflation has been the highest that it's literally ever been. I think there's a chart for this. USD inflation. I had it earlier. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna hop off the stream in a second because I'm getting really hungry right now. Here we go. United States inflation rate year over year. I need to save this, to be honest. I don't know why I haven't saved this already. But yeah, I think this chart proves my point. We're seeing tapped levels of inflation right now. Like, we haven't seen this amount of inflation since 1979. I imagine none of you were born previously in that time. I wasn't born. I mean, I'm a 90s baby, so in my whole life I have never seen inflation this crazy. I don't even think that my parents might have, to be fair. But yeah, we're seeing unprecedented amounts of inflation. We're clearly taking the cake right now. So I wouldn't bet against the Fed. But they're trying to increase the interest rate. They're trying to shrink their balance on their balance sheet. I think the US Treasury has like a stupid amount. I can't remember the exact number, so I don't want to say something that's not. How do I find the Treasury? 10-year Treasury? Or should we just type in the Fed balance sheet? Where can I find the Fed balance sheet? federalreserve.gov. Woo! Yeah, I mean, look at that. Is that... Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of assets right now. The thing I find scummy about this is another reason why I'm such an avid Bitcoiner is if you don't know how the economy works, and when you finally find out how currencies work, you'll be disgusted, because they're printing money and they're using that money to buy assets, which is why their total assets under management is increasing. So what that means is basically they're printing money, and that money has to come from somewhere. So that means that value out of the money in your pocket is getting taken away. So basically, people don't understand this. It's basically in tie with the Fed putting their hand in your wallet and pulling out a couple of dollars out of everyone's pocket and then using those dollars to buy their own assets. So yeah, I think the Fed is really scummy. I feel like we could do without central banks. But yeah, their assets under management right now is huge. We're about to enter a recession. I think it has to be now. It's going to be now, or it's not going to happen. And the thing is, this is where it gets scary. I mean, if the US do want to combat this level of inflation that they've been, lumping onto us, I mean, just look at this inflation increase. This is tapped. And when they say that this is the inflation, that it's like 10 times worse than that. Well, not 10 times worse, I'm gassing it. But in short, in order for the Fed to not enter a recession, well, no, let me take that back. In order for the Fed to get inflation under management, they would need to increase the interest rate dramatically. And they're already talking about increasing the interest rate by 50 basis points every month now. So coming into next month, we could have another capitulation event like we had yesterday. And if they keep increasing the interest rates and shrinking their balance sheet, then yeah, we really could go into a recession. So I honestly feel like hyper-Bitcoinization is gonna happen now, or we're going to enter a recession. I feel like there's not much in between. I talked about this at the start of the stream with the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. I'm not going to go through it all again, but historically we always bottom at one deviation oversold from the average deviation of the price. So in layman's terms, you can see we've got these deviation bands on the logarithmic growth curves. The low deviations down here simply means that you're one deviation of the average price oversold. And basically we always bottom at this orange line. So like I said, layman's terms, we come down to orange line, we find a bottom. We come down to orange line, we find a bottom. We come down to orange line, we find a bottom. This was the only time we didn't find a bottom straight away, but we were out of here in a month and a half. So the trend is your friend until the end. I do think we're coming down to 32,400, which is where one deviation oversold is on these logarithmic growth curves. My theory on that is as well that we would be trending sideways for the next year, and by trending sideways, these logarithmic growth curves are exponentially increasing. I imagine within the next year we'd be sitting at 42,000 Bitcoin, and that would be one deviation oversold. And at which point, in 1 year's time, it's only going to be 1 year until the next Bitcoin halving. And it seems like the Bitcoin 4-year cycles are playing out to the teeth. Like, they're playing out to the teeth. At some point, I do believe extended cycles is going to be in play. But at least for this year, it does not seem like we're getting an extended cycle. It seems like we had a pretty clear top, and we're coming back down to your low deviation bands. I mean, you can't still consider this to be the same bull run, in my opinion, once you come back down to the low deviation bands. That would be like saying that the bull run in 2018 was the bull run just from continuing 2013, because in 2013 we came and we bottomed on the low deviation. So if we do come down to 32,000, when we wouldn't have been in a bull market, we would have been in a bear market since the all-time high, which means that historically every single time we come down to one deviation oversold, we normally trend sideways for a year. In this instance, we trended sideways. I think we trended sideways for 13 months here, 18 months here. I think this was a long period of time. But the point of the matter is, we trend sideways for at least 12 months. The lowest we ever trended sideways was here. We bottomed in November, and then by kind of January we were out of here. So this was coming on for 13 or 14 months. So yeah, I think these logarithmic growth curves really well define what I think is going to happen. I think 32,000 is on the table. I think 1 year of boring price action is probably underway, unfortunately. I could be wrong, but at least historically, the trend is your friend till the end. We've always come down and trended sideways to the upside. And when I say sideways to the upside, bear in mind, like I said, these logarithmic growth curves are exponentially increasing. So you can see we bottomed here at $232, and then we came almost back down to it at $1,000. So just because we're going to be trending on these one deviation oversold does not mean that we can't go up in price, because it does. You can see if we bottom at 32,000 today, we'll be coming down to, like I said, 32,500. If we come down in August of this year, 38,000. If you come down in a year's time, it's going to be 42,000. So these logarithmic growth curves, they're in the name, they're logarithmic growth curves, they're exponentially increasing. So 2 years from today, I don't think it's 2 years from today actually, it's like 2 years from today, a week ago, that the next halving is going to be. So I think we should be looking out for a next parabolic rally coming into the next 2 years. And if the trend does break, and we do break bullish out of this, and we trend upwards for a year or two, could you imagine what impact that would have when the next halving comes if we're already in a bull run? Maybe we could have a super cycle, or like I said, extended cycle theory. But at least in my opinion, we come down to this logarithmic growth curve. It's the nail in the coffin. The bull run is over. And like I said, bull run being over does not mean that we can't increase in price. These logarithmic growth curves are exponentially increasing. So talk about FitFi. I already covered FitFi maybe like 5 or 10 minutes ago. So if you just want to scroll back, I'm sure the people that are in this chat have heard me talk about FitFi quite a lot. I'll briefly run through it, but yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it. We pretty much came down to my stop loss. Hourly time frame, we're kind of flipping below your 1 hourly EMAs, so not really the best sign. 4 hourly, we've done something similar to this before, where we broke up, had a convergence, broke bullish again, had a convergence. But the thing is that's different with this is we broke out before and now we're back testing it. So yeah, at least on the 4 hourly EMAs, your most macro target to hold would be 50 cent. If we do break below 50 cent, then you know, this move to earn might have already lost a lot of its hype, which would not be a nice thing to see. But yeah, like I said, that's just a brief overview. If you want my full in-depth, I recommend just scrolling back like 10 minutes or so ago. How long have we been in the stream for? I said I think I was going to be half an hour because I was pretty hungry, but I don't know how long we've been here for. Crazy inflation, some people say gold is artificially kept low. Yeah, I do believe gold is artificially kept low. I think it's even been proven that gold is artificially kept low. Orange, yeah, I love the oranges. Legend. Dab. Appreciate your work. Greetings from Greece. What's up? Hey, is that Chopper? Is that Chopper? Let me know. Is that a Tony Chopper? I appreciate your work. Greetings from Greece. You're gonna hit 10k subs before the end of June. When is June? May. June. Damn, I don't know about that, Chief. What's that? Like a month and 20 days or something. I'd love to hit 10k subs by the end of June. The funny thing is, I started my channel in late January, and I was like, I'm gonna continue making YouTube videos, but if I want to succeed, then in my opinion, I'd need to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, as in December 2022. That was my initial goal, and we literally hit 1,000 subs last month. And then a week later, we were going into like 1,500. A week later, we were at 2,000. The next week, we were at 3,000. This week, today, like we broke through 4,000 yesterday. And now I think we're on like 4,300. We're going crazy on this channel. So yeah, hopefully 10k by the end of the year. Don't know about next month. That would be very, very nice. T99, is that a Tony Chopper profile pic, or is that something else? Can you do technical analysis for Engine and VeChain? Seems like someone else is asking for VeChain as well. Long or short? If you're talking about leverage trades, I wouldn't recommend either. No, it's not Chopper, but the last episode was fire. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched. Oh, it's Teemo, player from League of Legends. It kind of looks like Chopper, but yeah. I haven't actually watched the most recent episodes of One Piece. I got to the Wano arc, and I had like 20 episodes of just absolutely nothing happening, so I stopped watching it. And then the new season of Attack on Titan came out, and I decided to re-watch Attack on Titan instead of continuing with One Piece. But at some point I will continue One Piece. I actually have a half sleeve tattoo with Attack on Titan, Naruto Shippuden, and Roronoa Zoro on my arm. So yeah, I do like some animes. How old am I? I'm 23. The last time someone asked me that, I said 22, and then I realised I'm actually 23. I think once you get older than 21, you just forget which age you are. But yeah. What do you think about Astra? I'm probably going to wrap up the video in a second, so I'll probably just check out Engine and VeChain, as we have the same age. Nice, nice. I hope you're all on the Discord, by the way. If you're not on the Discord, then yeah, click on my channel, click on any one of my videos, it's in the description down below. So yeah, hope you all join the Discord. And like I said earlier, if there's any of you who are new, might as well just chill my Twitter. I really don't post too much in terms of useful things, let's just call it useful things. I really just shitpost pictures of apes and NFTs and memes, and also Baklava. I considered naming my Twitter Baklava Bandit, because for those of you who don't know and who don't talk to me on the Discord, I love baklava. I eat baklava every single day. I'm absolutely obsessed with baklava. I don't really like chocolate, so I have baklava. I love baklava. I could go on about baklava forever. Let's stop talking about baklava. Oh, that's making me hungry, man. After I have my dinner, I'm definitely gonna have some baklava. But yeah, my Twitter's 618cowboy if you wanna follow me. And like I said, I really only post memes and pictures of NFTs, so yeah. If that's your thing, then that's my YouTube. Hey, Matthew Newhouse just became a member. Shout out to Matthew Newhouse, Crypto Shark. That's our 4th member. Much love, my friend. Much love. How are things in the UK? Do you enjoy your life there? Yeah, the UK's alright. I mean, it's pretty shit weather. Is your RPM increased more than $7? No, my CPM is at like $9, and my RPM is at like $2. It might be $2 to $3. Let me check on my phone, actually. But yeah, it's quite low. Shout out to everyone who joined the first live stream, by the way. Oh no, so my RPM is at like £3, which is probably like $3.50 or something. But yeah, once again, shout out Matthew Newhouse. I've seen crypto channels that have higher RPM, like $10 to $15. I can't understand why you have that low with long duration videos. I think it's all to do with the thumbnails. I think if you put like really clickbaity, super colourful, vibrant, contrasting thumbnails with your mouth hanging out and rocket emojis, I think they seem to like monetizing those videos more than these, but that's fine with me. I'd rather have a lower RPM and not have super clickbaity titles. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. We've been on for almost 2 hours. Damn. Like I said, shout out to everyone who did join the stream. The stream. They are all green monetized. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of them are. So yeah, Engine and VeChain. I'm gonna finish on Engine and VeChain, and then I am gonna hop off because I am very, very hungry. And I have one more video to post later. I'm not going to be recording all my TA videos like I normally do today. I did the live stream because I woke up with a massive migraine, and like I feel a bit under the weather, so it takes me a very long period of time to make all these TA videos. I mean, I know it's only like 6 to 10 minute videos. A lot of people, when I wasn't a YouTuber, I used to look at YouTubers making like 10-minute videos and thinking, oh, that's, you know, the easiest thing. You've got 6-10-minute videos a day, surely that doesn't take more than an hour. But then it takes like 5 minutes to, it takes like a minute to edit the clip, a minute to make a thumbnail, it takes like 5 minutes to download the edited clip, and then it takes like 10 to 15 minutes to upload it to YouTube. So, and you know, you see my channel, I make 20 to 30 videos sometimes. It takes a lot of time. So yeah, probably just a bit overworked, which is why I probably have a migraine. But looking at VeChain, or sorry, looking at VET, oh no, this is VeChain. We were looking at VPAD earlier, and I kept on calling it VeChain, and now I'm looking at VeChain, and I did call it VeChain, yeah, so that was correct. Daily time frame, definitely in a bear trend. Once again, this is another one of those things where I really wouldn't touch any of these altcoins until Bitcoin starts having a reversal. Looking at VeChain on the 4 hour. The 4 hour, you have a lot of fake outs to the upside. So I'd probably look to see if the trend is better defined on the daily, which it is. Did we break bearish? We broke bearish and then went back up. Very interesting. I guess you didn't confirm it as resistance. So I guess from a technical perspective, you haven't got any fake outs with a confirmed rejection. Looking at what happened here, was this a fake out? This looked like a fake out. Obviously we're looking at the 4 hour now, but the uptrend started here and we did confirm it. So yeah, we actually had a fake out here. I'd at least be waiting for the daily EMAs to get flipped for VeChain. From a technical perspective, on your Fibonacci's, we have invalidated your 786. Even if you draw it to the candle body close, you've invalidated it. So yeah, not the most bullish chart I've seen. There's a lot of selling volume coming in, and like I said, you know, it's not just VeChain. Every altcoin is pretty much getting beat down today. While the stock market is looking this bad, while Bitcoin's looking this bad, I would not try and catch the falling knife on something like VeChain. I do think VeChain's a good long-term project, but you've clearly got highs, and they're all lower highs. We're in such a fat downtrend right now. Trend is your friend until the end. Let's see if we've got a linear downtrend to define this bearish narrative. I mean, it's quite a reach. It's more than a 2x before your breakout. But then again, I mean, you've had lots of fake outs on the EMA ribbon, so yeah, VeChain's very 50-50 right now. It looks like you came down and held the lows, but once again, I would not be trading any altcoins at this moment in time. I wouldn't be looking to DCA anything at this moment. What else was the other one? Engine. I have only $1.50 RPM, and thumbnails are really important. Yeah, I imagine so. Do you make crypto YouTube videos as well? What do you do? Any tips to improve my English in the level of finance? I have only B1 in English from Michigan. I don't know what you mean by any tips to improve your English in finance. That doesn't make sense to me. But if you mean, do I have any tips on? Yeah, sorry, I don't know what you mean by that one. I definitely would say that finance probably doesn't have anything to do with language. I could say you could be like deaf and understand no languages, and you could still read a chart. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about language too much. I'll stream or highlights. I make clips. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so let's check out Engine. We had a few requests on that, and then I'm gonna wrap the video up. Engine's just been chilling. I mean, yeah, not a lot has changed. Since I made my last video, you've really been a stable coin within this range. I really would not like to see Engine break below this green box. If we hop over to the daily time frame, you've already invalidated your 786 Fibonacci. The bottom of this green box, or no, this is the next green box down, so we could still have some touch points to go lower down. Yeah, like I said, I'd be waiting for a break either way. we're really just chilling on this trend line. 4-hourly time frame, you've recently broken down, but like I said, you've been chopping in and out and in and out and in and out of this trend line. So yeah, 4 hour, the bears have momentum, but coming into the past 8 hours has been a bit of volume stepping in. What's Bitcoin doing? Is Bitcoin having a bounce? Is this why some of these altcoins are bouncing? Yeah, Bitcoin's up in the past 8 hours. Like I said, I do not think it's safe to be trading at this moment in time. I don't give financial advice, but you know, I would only be looking at picking up Bitcoin at these levels. I do think 33,000 is the bottom for Bitcoin, but the point of the matter is, if we do return to 33,000, then you would have had this being a confirmed bear market, because every time you have a bear market, I talked about this earlier, you come down to your 1 deviation oversold on the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves every single time. And every time without fail, you accumulate for at least 13 to 14 months. This was like 18 months. This was a huge period of time. So if we do come down to 33,000, I do not think that would be the right time to enter altcoins. And the thing is with this as well, is if we do come down to 33,000, like I said in my microdosing the top 25 cryptos of 2018, comparing them to the cryptos of this cycle, I feel like if we do come down to 33,000 and we do chop sideways for a good part of a year, a lot of the interest in these altcoins is going to disappear. And what does that mean? Well, cryptocurrencies are constantly developing. The technology is constantly developing. The best blockchain we had to build on last cycle was Ethereum. Now you've got things like Near and Solana, and you can build on top of these blockchains for, you know, for fees, for gas fees that are much cheaper than the previous blockchains. You've got swaps that work a lot better than previous ones. You've even got Dogecoins that try and give themselves fundamentals like Shiba Inu. So I think a lot of these cryptos are going to be gone in the next 4 to 5 years. So if Bitcoin does come down to 33,000, which it's looking like we want to come down, I would not be touching altcoins. I would not be touching altcoins at all. I've recently been stopped out in pretty much all of my altcoin trades. I talked about this recently. I got stopped out in JASMY at a 7% profit. I'm still in my trade on Cake, but that's because I've got it staked for, I think it's 70% on PancakeSwap, the decentralized swap exchange type thing. ApeCoin, we hit my take profit, and then we came down to my DCA. I don't think KNC as well. We didn't necessarily hit my stop loss, because my stop loss was actually at my all-time high down here at $4.30. But I remember making a video saying that I was moving up as soon as we flipped bearish on these EMAs. So I think I stopped myself out at $5, and everything's been landsliding since then. This is what I'm saying. I mean, you look at the markets, and in only a week's time, we've had a massive drop. And, you know, while I do agree that most of the time you should be greedy when others are fearful, and it is clear right now that people are, we've got a Wojak here, people are very fearful of what's going on. I mean, we're in extreme fear 22 right now. This was updated 8 hours ago. I imagine at some point that this is probably going to go lower. But we're coming down to that absolute extreme fear region. We haven't really hit it on the head yet. We're just kind of teetering in this extreme fear, but we're not there quite yet. So yeah, I would not be touching altcoins right now. At the start of the stream, I talked about the Bitcoin active addresses. Every time we come up and peak on the active addresses, we always top out. I'm going to wrap up the video in a second, so I'm not going to go through the Bitcoin active addresses again. It's literally the thing I talked about at the start of this video. So if you do want that, literally just swipe all the way to the start, and it is the first thing I talked about. So, but yeah, historically at least, you can see December 2017 top, April 2021 top, and if we correlate that to what went on with Bitcoin, these were the exact tops of the market before we had a bear market, and we're pushing up for it right now. There's a lot of signals that Bitcoin is about to enter a capitulation event where we do go sideways, and it's going to be very boring. I hope we don't do it, because, you know, it's going to be very boring looking at altcoins going down and sideways. I imagine a lot of people would lose interest in these YouTube videos, but you know, it is what it is. The market's showing us that we're bearish, so the Federal Reserve talking about increasing interest rates month over month. It could be a very, very tough time for the economy. I mean, if we don't increase the interest rates, we're going to go into a recession. If we increase the interest rates and we don't do it correctly, we could enter a recession. So there's a lot of things that could push us into a recession, and we haven't really seen these types of moves for a very, very long period of time. What happened to my... Because I had a chart with the inflation rate, and it disappeared. I swear I favorited it. But yeah, nonetheless, we've got the highest level of inflation since before I was born. I think the 1980s is when we had this level of inflation, and we entered a recession then. So I would definitely be cautious. When people are saying, you know, should I leverage trade these altcoins? I would not leverage trade any altcoins at this moment in time. Definitely not. Good night, my friend. Are leverage traders always doomed to blow up their account? Is it better to learn to trade with leverage at all? Well, it's a 50-50 because I trade with leverage, and I don't want to seem like a dick and say I'm a successful leverage trader, because I'm not like a millionaire or anything, but my account on my leverage trades is in profit, and that's because I'm very conservative with the trades that I pick. And I make sure that I buy breakouts, which is why when I look at these altcoins and these cryptos, I think you could really be shooting yourself in the foot. Like, for example, what did we just cover? We covered KDA, and people were asking me yesterday, they were asking me the day before. Basically, since KDA went in a downtrend, people have been asking me, should I long now? Should I DCA now? And I think just recognizing that we're in a huge downtrend and thinking about leveraging is really not a good idea. You could really shoot yourself in the foot if you leverage at this moment in time. But can you be a successful leverage trader? Absolutely. You would just need lots of patience. You need to... It's all about making yourself a robot. And I always say this when I'm trading. To be a successful trader, you have to be a robot. You have to take your emotions out of things. Because if I was being emotional on Bitcoin, I would have looked at Bitcoin, because bear in mind, if you watch my channel, you know I've been saying I've been sitting on the sideline for Bitcoin for the past couple of months now. I have not been leverage trading, and some YouTubers have been leverage trading. I saw a bunch of videos yesterday on my news feed. I don't really watch any other YouTubers because I don't have enough time, and I feel like if I watch another YouTuber's perspective, it might change my perspective. And that's not what I want to do. I want to be able to look at the data objectively. I look at things like a robot, and I analyze the markets. I don't bring my emotions into it. Like I said, I'm a huge Bitcoin bull, but I'm looking at this objectively, and we're breaking down. I'm looking at everything that's going on with the dollar showing strength. I'm looking at the stock market breaking down. I mean, look, you got things like Tesla, Facebook, Bitcoin, Google rather, Coinbase stock, blue chip stocks that are breaking down today. So when people ask me, you know, should I leverage trade this random shitcoin? Like, I do not think that's a good idea. Or to better trade without leverage. Well, being a leverage trader, the thing is, when you're a leverage trader, it doesn't make you a better or worse trader. It just amplifies your trade. So if you're already a good trader and you incorporate some risk, what's it called? My brain's gone so blank right now. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to wrap it up in a second. But risk management, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. When you incorporate risk management, if you're already a good trader, by leverage trading, you're just going to make yourself more profitable. If you're an unsuccessful trader, like, I'm not saying this to, you know, make anyone feel bad about themselves, but if you look at your trading portfolio and you realize that you're not being profitable all the time in your trades, or on average you're more unprofitable than profitable, then leverage trading is just going to amplify those results. So if you're already making losses by trading and you think that leverage trading will make you a better trader, it will just make you worse at trading, trust me. I found that out the hard way. I've been leverage trading since I started trading precious metals, US 30, and the stock market years ago. I mean, I'm trying to remember how long ago it is. It's coming on for like 5 years now. I've been trading cryptos for 3 years. I traded stocks for about 2 years before that. So It takes, and also, let's see, how does one deal with the anxious feeling of Bitcoin doing weird shit? Well, I'm gonna assume that you mean, how does one deal with the anxious feeling of Bitcoin going down? I would say, if you read the Bitcoin white paper, if you read the Bitcoin Standard, the book by Saifedean Amos, which I definitely recommend, I've read that book many times. I've read the Bitcoin white paper over 10 times, and I made a video. If you click on my YouTube channel and click on playlists, I made an audio book of me reading the Bitcoin white paper, and I had to listen to the video a couple of times over to edit out the sections between the videos. So technically I've read it like 10 times and I've listened to it like 5 times. I'm telling you, if you read the Bitcoin white paper and then if you go and read the book, the Bitcoin Standard, you should understand what Bitcoin is, and your conviction level on Bitcoin should be very high. So when I first started investing in Bitcoin, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what it did. So my conviction level was very low. When the price went up, I was very happy. When the price went down, I was like, oh my god, the price going down, is it going to go to zero? But now I see the Bitcoin price going down, and I don't want to like act like I know everything about Bitcoin, because I do know pretty much everything about Bitcoin. I don't know everything about Bitcoin from a coding perspective. I'm not a coder. I'm not like a nerd in that perspective, so I have no idea how the Bitcoin code works. But I understand how the validators work. I understand how the blocks work, the halvings, literally everything about Bitcoin, the value proposition, the consensus mechanism, the consensus mechanism being the proof of work and how that works. I think if you understand everything about Bitcoin, and like I said, read the Bitcoin white paper, read the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Amos, and your conviction level should be pretty high. So if you do that, then you shouldn't feel anxious if you do believe in what you're investing in. Because when I see Bitcoin going down, I don't get anxious because I don't hold my Bitcoin for the short term. I can honestly say if Bitcoin skyrocketed to 100k today, I wouldn't even think of selling. I would open my portfolio. Let me tell you something before I continue with this. Do you know when the last time I opened my ledger was to look at the GBP or USD value of my ledger and how much Bitcoin I hold? Just guess. Go ahead, chat. And how to deal with emotions in trading. You just literally have to. It's all about probabilities. You need, like I said, you need to be a robot. You need to look at the charts. You need to take your emotions out of it, because a lot of the time people bring their emotions into trading and they think, oh, because this project looks good and it's dumped, then I have to buy now. And that's like the DCA kind of strategy where people DCA altcoins even if the chart looks bad. But I think if you look at the charts, like I said, I'm very robotic in the way that I look at these charts. Like, for example, when we were looking at KDA, I look at the chart, I look at the indicators, I look at your momentum indicators, your moving averages. It's going to be different on almost every chart, but I look at the 4-hourly EMAs since we broke bearish on Cadena, and I simply recognize from a mathematical perspective, not from an emotional perspective, I realize from a mathematical perspective, you have these moving averages and the trend is perfectly defined by this downtrend. So in my brain, it doesn't make sense for me to say, I think I know where the bottom is, so I'm going to buy. A lot of traders will tell you they think that, or they know where the bottom is, or people will watch the price come down to a certain region and be like, this is the bottom. It's confirmed that this is the bottom. Trading is all about probabilities. No one knows anything for 100%. If you're watching a YouTuber who tells you, I'm 100% sure that Bitcoin is going to bottom at this price target. If you're watching a YouTuber that says that, even if you're watching a YouTuber that says, in my opinion, we're going to come down to 33,000, and then it's 100% confirmed that is the bottom, they are lying to you, or they just don't understand trading themselves. Trading is all about probabilities. If you understand that, then all you need to do is look for trades that have a high probability of breaking out. And like I said, I'm not going to go through all of the altcoins, but specifically if we're talking about Cadena, the downtrend is defined by these 4-hourly EMA ribbons. So it doesn't make sense for me to try and say, I think this is the bottom, so I'm going to DCA. I look at what the chart says. The chart says we're bearish. I don't bring my emotions into it. and it is what it is. And it's the same with every other crypto I own as well. I mean, even if I like the project, if I look at it and it looks terrible, or it looks like it's breaking down bearish, then it is what it is. For example, Bitcoin is very bearish right now. It's very, or at least in the short term, it's extremely macro bullish. It's been in a bull run since its inception in 2009. We highlighted this at the start of the stream. Every low, every macro low is a higher low. Every single time we put in a higher low, we go off to the races. So I think worst case scenario, 30,000, something like that could be on the table, higher low, and then chop for the next year or so. But yeah, like I said, look at things mathematically, look at things from a probability perspective. For example, if you look at a falling wedge, you might recognize that, yeah, falling wedges have a 70% chance of breaking out, but that doesn't mean that you should assume that it is going to break out from that probability perspective. You should look at the probabilities, realize that you've got a high probability of breaking out, and then wait for the breakout, wait for the back test, and then as we break up, you buy the breakout. We clearly didn't see that. We saw a fake out back test, and then we just broke down. So yeah, I just recommend looking at things mathematically, being as unemotional as possible, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Tell me about GST. I'm just about to wrap up the video, my friend. I've been recording for 2.5 hours now. I'm getting very, very hungry, so I'm gonna wrap it up now, unfortunately, but I'll definitely check it out for you tomorrow. Also, I will read the Bitcoin white paper. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. Harder to place stops. Yeah. Any advice for trading a bear market? Just buy Bitcoin. I mean, not financial advice, obviously, but you should go eat. Yeah, I know, I'm getting hungry now. I'm getting hungry. I told myself when I started recording I was going to record for half an hour because I've got a migraine, but my migraine's kind of gone away a little bit. But yeah, I'm still very, very hungry. Any advice for trading a bear market? Obviously, I don't give financial advice on this channel, but what am I planning to do on this bear market if we do enter a bear market? Just DCA Bitcoin. I'm just going to be DCAing Bitcoin the whole time. Like I said, I really do like projects like Solana and Dogelon Mars. I do like them. My emotions are telling me buy Dogelon Mars because it will go up 25x. My emotions are telling me you should buy Solana because it's the best blockchain out there right now and it could do what Ethereum did. But the data is telling me, we looked at this, we looked at the top 25 cryptos. After you enter a bear market and then you enter the next bull cycle, you are not going to see the same top 25 cryptos as you saw in the previous cycle. Check out my video I did yesterday if you haven't already, microdosing the top 25 cryptos. But only 8 cryptos out of those top 25 are still in the top 25. All of them have gone down dramatically. So, like I said, from an emotional perspective, I really do believe in Solana in the long term. From an emotional perspective, I really do like Dogelon Mars. I think it's a funny crypto. I think it's got what's the word? I think it's got a great community. I think it's got a low market cap, funny profile pic, funny ticker symbol. I think it could build up a lot of hype as we do come into the next bull run. But like I said, from a mathematical perspective, the charts would disagree with my emotions. So I'm still holding my Solana. I'm still holding my ELON. That's not what I'm saying. But if we do break down, if Bitcoin does go to 33,000, I do acknowledge that Solana and ELON, all these other cryptos, they're going to get wrecked against Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance always skyrockets when we go into a bear market. It is kind of chopping around right now, but yeah. Alright, I'm going to wrap up the video. I'm just going to finish the questions that were from here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So if you comment a new comment, I do apologise. I've been saying for the past hour I'm starving. 18 months. 18 months going sideways? I mean, yeah, if we do break sideways for 18 months, definitely good accumulation. What would you say the SLP is probably... would you say the SLP is probably going to break out again? It all depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going to break down to 33,000, SLP is going to get destroyed. And bear in mind, SLP has horrible tokenomics. It has the highest, it's got super high inflation rate. Also, I recommend if you're invested in Axie and SLP, read the Axie Infinity white paper. It's probably one of the quickest white papers that you'll ever read in your entire life. I swear it's just got pictures and like a few words to say. I mean, yeah, the white paper is super simple. Like I said, yeah, it's mainly just pictures and then explaining. It's really not too deep. But where is the SLP information? I'll find it for you because the main... I swear there used to be a tokenomics tab. Oh, here we go. Breeding and SLP. So, first of all, there's no hard cap on SLP, meaning that it's hyperinflationary. The more players that come into Axie, then the more inflation rate there is. So, Axies create to avoid hyperinflation of Axies. There is a maximum amount of Axie that can breed. So that's Axie, that's not SLP. Breeding and AXS and some smooth rock potions depends on how many Axies breed. Axie portion. Where does it say about the SLP tokenomics? Because when I read this, it said somewhere... I think they must have changed this. It's probably somewhere in here. Where is it? Oh, okay. I mean, it's got like it's got a brief explanation of it here. It seems to have changed since the last time I checked it, unless maybe I just forgot. It's been a while since I read this, but you can see here, smooth love potions can be earned by playing the game in the PvP arena. Once you earn them, you can sync them to your wallet from, you know, this page. So what this basically means, the more people that play Axie Infinity, you would assume that the more players playing Axie Infinity, then the higher the price of SLP would be, but it's the complete opposite. The more players playing Axie, then the more players are going to be rewarded with SLP, meaning the more SLP is going to flood into the market, meaning that if people don't invest in the token of SLP and they don't put the money in the market cap, then you're just going to have supply dumped on your head on players that play SLP. So if we do enter a bear market for the next year for Bitcoin, not only are you not going to see people buying SLP and Axie, but you're going to see people, I imagine, playing Axie to try and make SLP tokens or to try and make money because it's a play to earn game. And you're going to see SLP, that inflation is going to go up, less people are going to be investing, more people are going to be selling. I would not recommend SLP over the course of the bear market. We don't eat, don't sleep. Not financial advice, of course. Okay, so yeah, that's all the comments. So Gala breaking out and FitFi, I did just say a second ago I'd only be covering these comments because I'm very hungry. This has been a 2.5 hour stream. I did talk about FitFi during this stream, Clement, and I don't believe I talked about Gala, but I'll be talking about it tomorrow. Yeah, FitFi rewind live stream. I talked about it a couple of times, so yeah, you should find... Nothing's really changed. But yeah, I'll be making my normal updates tomorrow. Like I said, I just had a migraine today, and I felt like maybe doing the first live stream was probably the best way to do things today. So, good talking to all of you. I'm very surprised that this amount of people were joining and engaging. So yeah, very, very interesting things. Good to see you all. I hope to see you in the Discord. As always, you know what I'm going to say, cowboy out. Peace. Bye.